issue tomorrow. The former Attorney-General and Beaconsfield MP Dominic Grieve says there is a sound legal basis for bombing IS.
As long as the Prime Minister considers that the United Kingdom can help and that we can use reasonable, necessary and proportionate means to achieve a legitimate aim, which is to stop the unlawful activity taking place, then the intervention by ourselves or indeed anybody else in support of the Iraqi government will undoubtedly be lawful.
David Cameron is to apologise in person for passing on comments the Queen had made privately about the Scottish referendum result. He had been heard telling a former New York mayor about the Queen's relief that voters had rejected independence. Staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut as part of plans to restructure the company. More than 90% voted in favour of pay cuts of up to 30%. Strike action had been threatened over plans to cut 1,000 jobs. News of the vote comes the day after confirmation of likely new owners next month. Unions say the workers are sacrificing a lot and remain committed to the future of Monarch in Luton. A transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's MK exhibition. Milton Keynes Modelling Angels says it's been told it can't include the model Michelle in the show. More from you and Duncan.
The Milton Keynes-based modelling firm had arranged an audition which was filmed on behalf of the MK exhibition event. The company's managing director, Angie Soa, said she then heard that the transgender model couldn't be included in the fashion show because it wasn't the right venue. She said she was told that it's not discrimination, but they were just being practical. The MK exhibition organiser, Peter Barnett, said the fashion show was something that was talked about, but never agreed or advertised to be part of the exhibition.
In sport, Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the fourth round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a fourth successive home game in this season's competition. The weather, a sunny start with cloud increasing, staying dry in most places though, a maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
You can do it right now, please.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka.
Morning, guys. Happy BBC Introducing Day. As we celebrate the birth of new music, we celebrate the death of old music. Jason Orange has left Take That, dear listener.
How are they going to carry on without such a fundamental member?
He was like he was a very, very big member in Take That, wasn't he?
Huge part.
He was such a member. He was a really important tool, I thought, in the Take That lineup.
It's like when those roofers left E17.
Yeah, the roofers are back in E17.
Are the others?
The two roofers and the songman are in.
Oh, right.
The singer's not.
Brian Harvey.
Yeah.
Is he all right now?
Well,
He ran over himself.
He's damaged goods. He's damaged goods. But let's not...
Genius, you see.
Let's not focus on the E17.
We're talking Take That.
We're talking Take That and party. Come on, Take That and party.
Hey, do you remember your friend Tony Mortimer?
Yeah, my good friend Tony Mortimer. I got him on the show once.
You did?
Yeah?
That was...
Good.
That was good.
Lots coming up in the show today, Catherine. I've not opened the menu, so why don't you tell us what it is?
I've not opened it either. Hang on. It goes like this. Greenbelt gripes.
Yep.
Transgender troubles.
Uh-oh.
And something about Jason Orange.
Yeah.
Across beds,
When can we do
hearts
it?
and bucks.
This
When
is
can we do it?
BBC Three Counties Radio.
What, there's something about Jason Orange?
You can do it right now, please.
Anytime you want. Anytime you want, baby. Just kind of warming up for the show today a bit. Ooh. I am in a good mood today.
I'm all to cock, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that when I came in.
I put my snooze button on 3 times, which is never a good sign.
No.
Then I had a shower and I thought, I'll put this frock on. I've not worn it for a while. I can't remember why. I think I need to sew a button on. No, the button's there. I'll put it on.
Put the frock on.
Then just as I'm leaving the house, I put my hand to the rear of my frock.
Oh.
Around the base of my spine.
Oh.
Great big hole in it.
Good morning,
That's why
truckers.
I've not been wearing it.
Morning, truckers. There'll be more from Catherine Boyle's
Back
throughout the show. It's a new feature we're introducing in a desperate bid to try and stop the decline in listenership. I'm hoping it's going to work.
Anyway, I changed my frock, but it's not what I planned. And
You got a bit of a cob on today, mate. You're not all there.
Yeah.
You're not all there.
Yeah.
They're hugging each
And
other.
it's my little girl's birthday.
Well, hang on. Why is that a sad thing?
Well, I should have it off, shouldn't I?
So you got in this mess in the first place. Not really appropriate to make jokes like that when it's...
No, I feel like I should be there. She's 3, or as she says, free.
Yeah, I know, but still...
She wants to be free.
Still inappropriate to make jokes about having it off.
I wanna be
Free...
Don't say
I know what I can do.
Yeah, go on.
I'll find her a song with free in it.
OK, while you're doing that, do you want to hear a Bee Gees song that you've never heard before that's mental?
No, I'm not keen on
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes.
This is before they became... touching alive, still alive.
Touching
alive.
I don't know. I'm not... This is before they became that.
But is this the one where they do a grolly?
He goes...
Okay.
See if you can spot the bit where the Lion Man goes... You ready? Here we go! Hang on. Come on, Bee Gees. Now, it used to be that you couldn't build on Greenbelt because it was protected from development. Well, more and more now developers and councils are finding ways round this in order to meet the housing needs, citing what the government call exceptional circumstances. The latest case of this is in Tring in Hertfordshire, where there's a proposal to build 200 homes and a traveller site on the Greenbelt. Well, Catherine Boyle joins me now. Where are we talking about, Catherine?
Well, assuming they're given the go-ahead, we're just at consultation stage with this one at the moment, the new homes will be built on land between Icknield Way and Aylesbury Road, which is now made up of 1 large and 2 small paddocks and 3 medium-sized arable fields.
1 large and 2 small what?
Paddocks.
You said paddocks.
I know. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know why you said paddocks.
Anyway, paddocks. They're all the same. The fields, OK?
Yeah.
Keller Homes owns 9.9 hectares of the 18.3 hectare site, and the developer controls most of the rest of it through option agreements. The proposal is part of the Decorum Core strategy, which was adopted by the council in September 2013 after it was found to be sound by the planning inspectorate. That means all right rather than, sound.
Yeah, sound.
At the time, the inspector considered very carefully the evidence provided to him, as is his job, the need for more housing and the effect on the Greenbelt. Development of the site is likely to start, as long as consultation, of course, because that is very important. The public can have their say and it will make all the difference.
Yeah. OK, but...
It's likely to start within the next 5 years following the formal release of the site from the Greenbelt.
OK, what does that mean?
Well, the land west of Tring is currently within the Greenbelt. The core strategy proposes removal of an area from the Greenbelt between Icknield Way and Aylesbury Road, so this bit we're talking about, to accommodate the proposed development. So they're going to redraw the Greenbelt boundary. It used to be the end of the argument, didn't it? It's on Greenbelt. Well, now you can have these exceptional circumstances.
Blimey.
The council's got to take into account government advice when it draws a new line, and this is what the government says, that boundaries should use physical features that are readily recognisable and likely to be permanent. Additional tree planting could help define the boundary. So you can do what you like by the sounds of things.
Gosh, because yes, when I was growing up, and fairly recently, Greenbelt meant that you can't touch that.
Yeah.
Can't touch that. And
hands off. And there were good reasons for having the Greenbelt.
Was to protect the countryside.
Yeah, and drainage of the land.
And if you start building on that now, it's exceptional circumstances. Well, if you start bending the rules now, I don't want to say thin end of the wedge, but isn't it just?
You know, when you come back from holiday and you fly over England, there is a lot of green there still.
Green and pleasant.
It might not be in the future.
This isn't the only Greenbelt development, is it? It's happening elsewhere.
No, there are 5 other Greenbelt sites which will be developed. 3 in Hemel, with a total of over 1,200 new homes, and including 2 traveller sites. There'll also be 40 new homes in Berkhamsted to the rear of Hanbury's and 60 new homes in Bovingdon. So in total, there'll be 17 new traveller pitches. They're going to spread those across 3 traveller sites in Hemel and Tring.
Well, I'm certainly interested, Catherine, but I want to play Arthur Conley's Sweet Soul Music, so we can't discuss it more now, but where could I go to find out more?
Well, if you were able, I know you're a very busy man these days, with sleeping and that, but a public exhibition of the plans for Tring will be held at the Temperance Hall in Christchurch Road, Tring, from 2 till 8 on Tuesday, October the 14th, so put it in your diary. Borough Council officials will be on hand to answer questions during that event, and there are also exhibitions planned for the developments in Berkhamsted, Hemel, Hempstead and Bovingdon. Consultation on all the plans will run from now until Wednesday, November the 5th.
We say paddock, but we don't say padlock. Yeah?
Isn't that curious?
Do you like good music? That sweet soul music. Just long as it's swinging. Oh yeah. We out here on the floor, y'all. Going to a go, dancing with the music. Oh yeah. Spotlight on Lou Ross, y'all. I don't need look for y'all. Singing love to her the thing, y'all. Oh yeah. Spotlight on Sammy Day, y'all. I don't need look great, y'all. Singing hold on, I'm coming. Spotlight on Wilson Pickett now. That wicked singing Rustin Sally. Oh yeah. Spotlight on Otis Redding now. Singing bam, 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 bam. Oh yeah. Get it on this. Spotlight on Jane Brown, y'all. He the king of them all, y'all. He the king of them all, y'all. Oh yeah. Do you like good music? That sweet soul music. Just long as it's swinging. Oh yeah. I got to get the feeling. I got to get the feeling. Do you like good music? That sweet soul music. Help me get the feeling. I want to get the feeling. All is ready, got the feeling.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC 3 Counties. Counties Radio.
Well, no accidents or incidents reported across the three counties. On the motorways, the M1 certainly building up on the southbound carriageway heading down to the M25, but no queues from what I can see on camera. The M25 itself is moving along well. A505 between Leighton Buzzard and Dunstable, of course, closed for resurfacing works until the end of the week. And there's a diversion route through Stanbridge, so the A505 closed now just west of Dunstable for the next couple of days. On the trains, a good service with no reported problems this morning. I'm James Worley, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. 6:16. It's Thursday, the 25th of September. I'm Iain Lee. And where's my heads? Where's my heads? Kelly, could you give me the heads, please? And,
You can do it right now, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. And staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut of up to 30% as part of plans to restructure the company. Core blimey, governor.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, I like to see lots of people I don't really recognise dancing, but where can I experience this?
I'm Alison Hammond. I'm a TV presenter.
I'm Scott Mills, and I'm a DJ.
My normal relaxing weekend would be just chilling out with my family.
Relax with friends, go to the gym.
Maybe going to the cinema.
Put a tracksuit on, and that's about it. I love a spray tan.
I just want a lot of tassels, I want a lot of glitter.
I want to be pecan, that's the colour I want to be.
6-packs everywhere.
Glitter balls, and the judge is right there under my nose.
The atmosphere is going to be electric. I really can't wait.
Sometimes I feel like I'm going to double over with excitement.
Weekends are made for dancing. Strictly Come Dancing begins Friday night at 9 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Oh, I look forward to seeing Scott Mills pilfering somebody else's dance steps.
Cool.
The garden was blessed by the gods of me and you. We headed westward to find ourselves some truth. Oh, what you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? We counted all our reasons, excuses that we made. We found ourselves some treasure and threw it all away. Oh, what you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? When I dance alone and the sun's beating down, blame it on me. When I lose control and the veil's overused, blame it on me. What you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? Caught in the tide of blossom, caught in the carnival. Your confidence forgotten, now see the gypsies roll. Oh, what you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? No, what you waiting for? When I dance alone and the sun's beating down, blame it on me. When I lose control and the veil's overused, blame it on me.
you can do it right now, please.
Exactly what you're waiting for. Do it right now, please. 08459 455 555. Catherine is manning the helpline. How many distraught Take That fans have we had calling in this morning?
Oh, they won't be out of bed yet, will they?
Oh, slightly different from when they split up. I remember this morning actually having genuine. They had who's that? Well, the woman who does the
Denise.
Yeah, Denise was on fielding calls from distraught fans.
My sister was one of those fans. She's knocking on 40 now. They haven't got time.
Blimey.
That's what happens, doesn't it? You know, we understand Jason's decision.
If anybody is feeling distraught about the loss of Jason Orange from Take That, they will be carrying on as a trio. Yeah, we're going to go and see them all. Who are you going to go and see at Wembley Stadium tonight? Take That. What? Or 5 of them? No. 4? No. 3?
Gary, Mark and Howard.
If you are distraught, you can give us a call.
We'll give you a sympathetic ear, won't we?
Won't we just? 08459 455 555. Now, it's claimed a model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition because she's transgender. Michelle's agent at Milton Keynes Modelling Angels claimed she was told her services wouldn't be required as it wasn't the right venue. The exhibition's organisers deny discrimination. Well, Jen Kitney is a volunteer at the All About Trans project. Morning, Jen.
Morning.
Jen, tell me about the work you do.
So All About Trans works with the media to help positive representations of trans people all over the place. And so that means talking to different media organisations and sort of having what they call interactions between trans people and media professionals, as well as sort of increasing just sort of general awareness of trans people.
And my perception is that the attitudes towards transgender have kind of come on in leaps and bounds in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I think back to my youth, and it was like you have things like Little Britain and you know, also horrible documentaries and stuff where trans people were not portrayed in a particularly nice light.
Oh, it was a joke for a long time, wasn't it? And to some people, it probably still is. But I think that it would appear that opinions are changing.
Yeah, and that's in part due to the work that All About Trans does in terms of sort of talking to the people that make the stuff on media, and that will influence the way that other people in the public think about trans issues.
This story, if what we've heard is true, what do you make of it?
Well, I don't think there's any real reason why being trans is a reason to not hire someone, to not have someone doing something. And in terms of models, there are loads of really, really, really amazing trans models out there. And yeah, so being trans isn't a bar to being a model.
The organisers deny discrimination. The agency representing Michelle are pretty sure that the organisers bottled it when they realised Michelle was transgender. What do you make of that?
Well, it does sound like discrimination, to be fair. I say that there is no reason for not having someone who's trans modelling for you because it's entirely irrelevant. And if someone's appropriate for the role of whatever they're doing, being trans shouldn't be an issue.
Here's a prediction that I'm going to make about 1 or 2 of the phone calls we might get on the show this morning, Jen, if people are brave enough to phone up. I'd love to hear from them. There will be people phoning up who will possibly use the F word and say that transgenders are freaks. Now, I'm sure you've come across that before.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to those kind of people, to people who say things like that?
Well, you probably haven't met a transgender person because we are just normal. I know hundreds of trans people and completely varied personalities, people. There's no one type of transgender person, and you know, calling us all freaks, it means you don't know anybody who's trans.
And I'm using that word. I'm sure you've come across that word before. This is why I'm kind of using it. But that prejudice is still out there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It must be quite uncomfortable at times.
Sometimes, yeah. It's something that you sort of grow a fairly thick skin to sort of deal with, but it's not as bad as, at least when I was younger, I thought it was going to be, for me at least.
I tell you what was probably surprising, well, maybe you'll disagree, what I think has possibly surprisingly helped has been Big Brother, because as far as I remember, I'm sure there have been 2 transgender winners of Big Brother. There's also Kelly Malone in the celebrity series this year that's kind of... I'm going to use a word that's probably the wrong word, but as in inverted commas, normalised it, and probably helped some people realise that transgender people are just people that are going through something slightly different.
Yeah, I think normalise is the right word, because there's a sort of unknown around trans people, and having things like Big Brother allows people to sort of see trans people as people and not as, a sort of caricature or a very set thing in a documentary or something. And so having these sort of things is really useful. It's the things that come around it. It's the newspaper articles, the internet comment sections that come with these things, which aren't as fun.
Hey, listen, here's one thing I'm learning. Never read comments on the internet. Blimey.
Yeah.
Jen, if people want to find out more about all about trans, where do they go?
There's the website, allabouttrans.org.uk, I think it is. But they're also on Twitter.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you can find everyone.
Jen, I appreciate your time at this ridiculous hour of the morning. Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, so far this morning, it's a rather quiet start across the 3 counties. Not seeing any major problems or delays. The M1 and the M25 both moving rather well, as is the A1M. Not seeing any major problems or delays. The M40, there is a lane closed at the moment, just a junction 5 for Stoke-on-Church, as some bridge maintenance works continuing there. Checking on the departure boards for the trains, everything seems to be running rather well this morning. Nicola Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. The former Attorney General and Beaconsfield MP Dominic Grieve says there is a sound legal basis for bombing IS. Staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut of up to 30% as part of plans to restructure the company. And the A414 North Orbital Road has reopened in Hertfordshire this morning, more than 24 hours after an accident closed the westbound carriageway.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the 4th round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a 4th successive home game in this season's competition. They will host the Blades at Stadium MK on October the 28th or 29th. In last night's 3rd round matches, Frank Lampard scored twice as Manchester City thrashed Sheffield Wednesday 7-0. Here's Peter Slater.
So that's how to defend the trophy. City destroyed Wednesday in 13 second-half minutes. At the break it was 0-0 on the hour. It was 4. Lampard, Dzeko, a lovely strike from Jesus Navas and a penalty from Yaya Toure after Kamil Zayat was sent off. Wednesday are improving, but they've got a long way to go to match the Premier League elite. Dzeko added a 5th. Jose Pozzo involved in the build-up, showing some of the skill which has given the 18-year-old the nickname the Mini Messi. Pozzo added the 6th in the last couple of minutes. Frank Lampard started the rout, then finished it in stoppage time. Now that's how to take this competition seriously.
Elsewhere, Chelsea beat Bolton 2-1, Tottenham beat Nottingham Forest 3-1 and Newcastle were 3-2 extra-time winners at Crystal Palace. Elsewhere in the 4th round draw, Chelsea will travel to League Two Shrewsbury. Manchester City hosts Newcastle. Liverpool are at home to Swansea. In golf, the opening ceremony for the Ryder Cup at Glen Eagles takes place today. Both captains will also announce tomorrow's first day pairings. And in rugby, Wycombe-based Wasps are being linked with a move to Coventry's Ricoh Arena. Wasps have been playing at Adams Park since 2002. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the Twitter has really gone, been set alight. You can move that. There we go. Twitter has really been set alight with the news that Jason Orange is leaving Take That. Carpet
Yes.
Martin says, although upset about Jason leaving, the idea that it could lead him to going on to make Killer Net 2 is really exciting. I'm assuming Jason was in a film called Killer Net.
Was he?
I'm assuming.
Or was that an album?
He did make a record, didn't he? I
can't remember.
Yeah, he made a record.
Maybe that's why he's leaving, to pursue solo projects.
I'll tell you who had a good solo record. Mark Owen.
Oh, no.
4 Minute Warning.
No.
That was a good song.
I know. I like
Kelly Betts. Can you find? We won't play it all. We'll play a snatch of it.
It went like that. It went like that.
4 minute.
He seems like a nice lad and
I
everything,
can't get
but
a word
I can't
in
bear
edgewise
it.
here.
4 minute warning.
4 Minute Warning by
Mark Owen.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like his solo stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Please do, mate.
Is it the spelling of the word 4 or is it just the number 4?
I tell you what, mate. Why don't you just go off and do it?
It's easier if I know the exact title.
Number.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I don't know. So anyway, Jason Orange has left. It's the front page of.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm just typing it in.
Okay.
Oh, it's not spelled like that.
It's the word.
Maybe it's F-O-U-R.
Jason Orange has left Take That. If you want to call the Take That hotline, the number is 08459 455 555, and we'll certainly do our best to calm you down and talk you off of the ledge. You got it?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, please. Can we not have it? It's rubbish.
I want to play a bit of it to prove that it's a good song.
No, it's awful.
You got a right cob on today, love.
I just don't like Mark Owen's solo stuff.
He's been through the wars, he has, not literally.
I know,
You wouldn't survive a real war.
You know, and I like him, but I just don't like his voice at all.
He does speak funny, doesn't he?
Well, what are you saying?
Sorry? His accent is a bit... A bit mardy. He's got a mardy Manchester accent, our kid. I'll go to foot of our stairs and
There you go, mate.
outside the pots. Right, here we go.
What
Have a
does
listen to
that
this.
mean?
Here we go, have a listen to this.
Oh.
This is a great record. Yeah. Here we go. Listen. No, come on, I'm telling you a mic off. That's through. Everybody wants to know what you do then. Short stories of 4-minute warnings. Sasha stands in his yellow cafe. Yes, the heart of the city is his. Kels, what do you reckon? It's good, isn't it? Yeah? Guys, 08459 455 555. This is great.
On your stereo.
Here come the phone calls. Just whack them straight through, Kels. Inch earrings, heart of glass, blonde who sings in her ear. You're a rock queen, honey, and we all hear you. Come on. Your stereo, film-minute warning. Everybody wants to know what you can do. Short stories of 4-minute warning. We'll have it. That's a good song, that.
Nails down a blackboard.
What are the calls saying, Kels?
That was Justin. He's very upset about Jason Orange.
Oh, man alive.
Had to really just,
Well, it does mean there's a vacancy, Joss. See it that way.
I think.
I know you didn't have time to join them last time.
Might be a little bit too camp to replace Jason Orange. we'll get just on before 7 and we can take it straight. Now, that's the front page of The Sun. The Sun have got another interesting story on the front page. Help for Heroes, the party leaders show support. There's a picture of David Cameron wearing one of those Help for Heroes bands.
Yeah.
There's Nick Clegg wearing one of those Help for Heroes bands. There's even Nigel Farage, because that's how it's pronounced, apparently, wearing a Help for Heroes band. Yeah.
But I say garage, so that doesn't help me.
Then there's Ed Miliband's name, and there's no picture. What's the story, Morning Glory? Ed Miliband has refused to support a charity campaign for wounded troops for fear of offending Labour lefties. While all three leaders of the other main parties backed Help for Heroes' new fundraising push, he turned down 4 requests from The Sun to wear, continued on page 2, one of the charity's new Friends wristbands. Now, what The Sun is doing here is, I think, shameful. Shameful being the word. You can't shame people for not publicly supporting a charity.
And when did charity become about Top Show? When did it become about joining in with the crowd or doing things because you're under pressure to do so? I mean, it's wrong, isn't it? We don't know. He may have made a donation to Help Heroes. It's frankly nobody's business.
Mr Miliband's private refusals came as he publicly gave Labour backing to airstrikes in Iraq. Insiders say, in other words, we made this up, Mr Miliband feared another row with left-wing MPs if he helped The Sun. In June, he made a pathetic apology to them for posing for a snap with our World Cup pullout. Well, you know, hey, The Sun, and your history of dealing with football fans. Yeah, the truth. I think it's awful. I shouldn't have said shameful, because public shaming is pretty bad. It is awful that they are shaming him for not supporting a charity. I always think you make your own choices around charity. You can't be bullied into going, well, you have to support this one. Well, no, I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
And that's not saying that charity isn't a good thing, but it's about personal choice, surely. I agree with you completely on this one.
Wasn't there someone, was it on this show where someone phoned up and oh no, it was the gentleman. Remember the Colonel?
Yeah. About the poppy.
About the poppy and about the British Legion, the Royal British Legion Poppy Day was the most important charity. Without it, we wouldn't have any other charities. Well, to him, it was the most important charity. To me, it's an important one. It's not the most important one. I always think with charity, it's the thing that you feel the most connection with because it's affected your life, because you're particularly touched by it for whatever reason. You can't just do it because it's trendy.
Well, people always use the phrase, it's close to my heart. Well, let everyone make their own decisions. They've got their reasons. It's no one else's business. I just don't understand this thing about having to stick a badge on and show everybody. You know, and the motives aren't pure. I don't like it.
Can I ask you, dear listener, on this one, I'm going to ask lots of questions to you today. I fancy getting lots of phone calls. Is The Sun correct? Is The Sun right in shaming Ed Miliband for not supporting this charity, Help for Heroes? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. One of the things we've been talking about this morning, and we'll talk about more, is this story that it's claimed a model has been banned from a fashion show in Milton Keynes because she's transgender. Well, Andrew's in Bedford on this. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Ian.
What would you like to say?
Yeah, I think transgender should be treated just like anyone else with respect. I had a transgender nurse when I was in hospital a couple of years ago, recovering from an operation, and she was wonderful, very kind, helpful, and yet I found that there was a lot of negativity about her, including from the staff, which I thought was rather bad.
Really? What kind of things were you witnessing?
Well, they were making fun of her, saying, oh, she doesn't look like a real woman, and all this, just negative remarks, just nasty little snidey remarks. And it was from the staff and the patients as well, which...
Andrew, if you're honest, when you first saw her, what did you think?
I took her as any other person. I didn't even know she was transgender until it was pointed out. Just looked like anyone else. I mean, she was going through the period, because you have to live for... I believe when I spoke to her, it's 2 years you have to live a life, in public as a woman before you can get a national health for full gender reassignment. And she was halfway through that, but she was really a really nice nurse, and that's just I just treat people how I find them.
Could she do her nursing job?
Sorry?
Could she do her job well?
Yes.
Boom. There you go. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but there is still a lot of negativity about it out there. And I mean, it's a sad thing. I mean that.
I would suggest that the negativity is from people who stand back, look, and then don't go any further. When you actually start talking to people as people, you get over it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, for some people, but not everyone.
OK, let me throw this in the mix, though. It is we are programmed as human beings to fear, not quite the right word, to be mistrustful of things that are different to us, whether that be, people who are of a different colour, of a different sexuality, who are making a brave transition from being men to women, or vice versa.
It's the human nature to judge before you jump into a situation, yeah.
Yeah, you see a large person and your brain, you see someone who's different from you and your brain registers that difference.
It depends whether you're prepared to unravel that.
Yeah, it's getting past the knee-jerk reaction. Andrew, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
While I've got you on the line, can I just ask you...
Yeah?
The Sun is shaming Ed Miliband today for not supporting the Help for Heroes charity. Are they right to shame him, do you think?
No, I don't agree with it. It's like I agree with your opinion about that ice butt challenge as well. It's just bullying people.
And
who you give to should be a personal thing to yourself. You shouldn't have to do it because someone says you should give to charity.
And finally, Andrew, you're giving such good radio this morning. Your thoughts on Jason Orange, please.
Well, yeah, actually, it's quite sad, and that thing you were saying earlier about killing it, I've got the DVD, actually, and I've just looked it up, and he actually played a DJ called DJ Brent in it. It was a Channel 4 film that was made in 1997, and
right.
it was about someone on the internet believing that they were stalking a person. It sort of turned into reality.
You've just given me a brilliant idea.
In Brighton, apparently.
Brighton, yeah.
Andrew, what Channel 4 now should do is run a Jason Orange season, I think.
Yeah, that would make
be
sense.
Respectful,
well,
wouldn't
I don't know if he's made enough films to run a season, Catherine, but it is a good film. I've got it here on the internet.
They could run it a couple of times, couldn't they?
Who else is in Killer Net? Give us, because we're learning a lot about Jason Orange through Killer Net.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Emily Wolf.
Pardon?
Emily Wolf.
What?
Wolf. W-O-O-F.
Yeah,
Emily Wolf.
That's Wolf.
Wolf.
Good lad.
Yeah, it's quite a good film, though.
How much did it cost you?
Hold on, I'll tell you. I've got the receipt here inside. I bought it in Music Zone. Oh, God, it was quite an expensive film as well. $16.94.
What? You were determined to take that home, weren't you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you the date I bought it. Hang on, 18th of the 10th, 06.
Why have you kept an 8-year-old... Oh, it's almost the anniversary.
Did you mean to take it back?
I always keep the receipts in case there's something wrong with it, because I've had a couple of faulty, and if you haven't got the receipt... You're stuck, because you don't always buy a film and watch it straight away. I always keep the receipt tucked away. Yeah, and I bought it in Music Zone Bedford, which sadly doesn't exist anymore.
Great memories.
It went the way of HMV long before HMV went that way.
So HMV went the way of Music Zone.
A lot of dosh in them days, wasn't it?
Well, Andrew, we really have had... we've covered all bases, and we've had a great trip down memory lane. Thank you so much.
OK, nice to speak to you.
Thank you, bye-bye. Well, it's interesting that this talk of Jason Orange has moved on to, what's it called, Killer Net?
Yeah.
Your memories of Killer Net, please.
I've never seen that.
The film starring Emily Wolf, Jason Orange and Paul Bettany. It's filmed in Brighton, and 8 years ago it was retailing for just under £17.
He played the role of DJ Brent.
08459 455 555. It's the Killer Net phone-in this morning.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the M25, heading anti-clockwise, starting to look quite heavy on the speed sensors between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 20 at Kings Langley. Also anti-clockwise, starting to build between 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. In Bricket Wood, it's looking rather heavy on the sensors on the North Orbital Road, just at junction 21A for the M25. So far, taking a look at the other routes, the A1M so far moving rather well, as is the M40. And on the trains, no reported problems or delays so far this morning. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 6:46. It's Thursday, the 25th of September. It's BBC Introducing Day. Huzzah! These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. And staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut of up to 30% as plans to restructure the company. Coming up, we'll try and console a broken-hearted Justin Dealey, but before that, let's get the weather. Here's Georgina.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Well, it's a chilly but bright start to the day, but it does cloud over, so by this afternoon we're seeing very little sunshine left. However, it should stay dry with highs of 18 degrees Celsius and just a light southwesterly breeze. Now, it's a cloudy but certainly warmer night than it was last night, with lows of 14 degrees Celsius. A fair amount of cloud around generally tomorrow, and perhaps the odd spot of light rain or drizzle, but I think most of us should have another dry day, and the best chance of any sunny spells will be by the afternoon. Temperatures reaching 20 degrees Celsius. Now, Saturday and Sunday start off fairly grey with some mist and fog that may be slow to clear, but again we should have sunny intervals by the afternoon. And then on Monday and Tuesday, an increasing risk of showers, but remaining warm. That's your latest forecast.
Hey, Kath.
Yeah?
What do you think the people of St Albans think about St Albans?
Let's ask them.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, Herts and Bucks.
It's friendly. To me, it feels like a giant village.
It's brilliant. The community's there.
It's a little bit of London in the countryside.
All this week, we're exploring St Albans.
The oldie-worldy appeal, the peace round by the park.
Telling everyone about where you live.
I think it's a very friendly area.
Don't have to go too far, and you're out in the country and you can walk for miles.
Bit of history in there, nice green areas.
I love to go down the lake, have a little walk around.
The big tour of beds, Herts and Bucks.
Push the boat out, over-mortgage yourself and come and live here.
From BBC Three Counties Radio.
Three is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Somewhere in the ancient mystic trinity, you get 3 as a magic number. The past and the present and the future, faith and hope and charity, the heart and the brain and the body give you 3 as a magic number. It takes 3 legs to make a tripod or to make a table stand. It takes 3 wheels to make a vehicle called a tricycle. Every triangle has 3 corners, every triangle has 3 sides, no more, no less. You don't have to guess. When it's 3, you can see it's a magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3 in the family. That's a magic number. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Now the multiples of 3 come up 3 times in each set of 10. In the first 10, you get 3, 6, 9, and in the teens 10, it's 12, 15, and 18. And in the 20s, you get a 21, 24, 27, and it comes out even on 30. Yeah.
Now multiply backwards from 3 times 10.
3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3, of course.
Now dig the pattern once more. 3.
3, 6, 9.
12.
12, 15, 18.
21.
21, 24, 27. 30.
Yeah.
30.
Now multiply from 10 backwards.
3 times 10 is 30.
Going
3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1. What is it? 3. Yeah, that's a magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3 in the family. That's a magic number.
3, significant because one of your children is now 3.
Yeah.
And to take that is now 3, Justin.
I know. Very, very sad. Very sad.
I broke the news to you this morning in perhaps a slightly insensitive, jokey way. And boy, oh boy, did I realise almost immediately that was a mistake.
Justin took it quite hard.
Yeah, Justin took it hard this morning.
Yeah, I took it very hard. I'm in St Albans, home of a big tour. Before we talk about
Are you taking it hard in St Albans?
Yes, a lot of people are taking it very, very hard.
In St Albans?
Yeah. It's not great.
Are you breaking it gently, though?
Yeah, kind of. I have to say, I didn't go down the route that Iain went down this morning and just, belted out the news.
Oh, mate, just watching you take it hard this morning, I mean, it really was an eye-opener.
Yeah, absolutely. Boss, whilst I'm here in St Albans, would you like some facts?
St Albans, of course, home of the...
Big Tour?
Big Tour.
Okay,
Big Tour facts coming up.
St Albans gave the world... You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a great time, mate. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Okay, St Albans gave the world the Zombies. Fantastic.
What, the Walking Dead?
No, not the Walking Dead. The second best group of the 1960s. Number 1, the Beatles.
The
number 2,
Monkees.
the Zombies.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
She's not there. Oh, let me tell you about the way she looks, the way she acted, the colour of her hair. That's so soft and smooth. But she's not there. Where's she gone?
Great track. And also, very quickly, some educational facts for you.
Oh.
Ali G went to school in St Albans.
Oh, gosh.
So did Paul, the fat one from S Club 7. And also, this is going to blow your mind.
OK, mate.
Stephen Hawking, educated at St Albans School. There you go. How about
Can I just pick you up on something? Paul was not the fat one. He was the fit one.
No.
He was the fat one,
We're talking Catamole, aren't we?
He grew dreads.
He's very, very attractive.
No, that was Bradley.
No, Paul grew dreads.
Did he?
I was once in a lift with Bradley going from the ground floor to the second floor. Not a long journey. He fell asleep. That's a true story.
Well, those lifts are very soothing.
He fell asleep.
I quite like Bradley. I thought he was...
They were worked very hard.
He was an underestimated R&B star. Stuck in a poor pop group.
Shut up, man. S Club are awesome. Anyway, we go to those are the facts. Let's get back. This morning, as we've said, you came into the office, and Catherine and I, we just saw you double over and take it hard. And now you have you're breaking it gently to people in St Albans.
Yep, I was bent over in agony this morning about the news. So Jason Orange has left Take That. It's on the front page of some of the newspapers this morning. I'm here in St Albans. I have been breaking it gently to the people here.
Yeah.
And Iain, here's what happened. Larry, you've come out the newspaper shop. You've heard the news about Jason. Can you give us your reaction, please?
Well, I can't imagine that something like this would happen at this stage of my life, really. You know, it could be life-changing, really.
It's come as a shock to everyone, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how I'm going to get myself to work today, I really don't know, but I'll make the best I can anyway. But all the best.
Just lastly, is this a bigger shock than when Robbie left in the 90s?
It's hard to say, really. I think it could be about par for the course, really, something like that. Yeah, definitely.
Just keep believing. I think they're going to carry on. Thanks for your time. It's not the end. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey, Jill. Come on, how are you feeling about the news?
Gutted. I've followed Take That for a long time, seen them about 3 or 4 times in concert, and a bit shocked. So it's sad news, sad times. Hope they still carry on.
Oh, your face is deteriorating during this conversation. Have you cried about this?
No, I'm not. I've gone past that stage. Probably my daughter will, because she's a fan as well, so she might be gutted. She cried the first time round, so...
What, was Robbie?
Yeah, so... No, not much Robbie, but when they actually split up, so...
So the news is going to hit you and your family hard?
Yeah, it's sad times, very sad.
Thank you very much indeed. Hopefully you can get through today. Take care.
Thank you, bye.
So, like everyone this morning, waking up to the news that Jason is quitting Take That. How does it make you feel?
Oh, surprise.
Yeah.
So
shock, isn't it?
Yeah, so what can you do about it?
Not a lot, really.
That's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh dear, that gentleman at the end, he took it hard, didn't he? It's not a lot. What can you do about it?
A lot of bravery on the streets of St Albans this morning.
Yeah, a lot of bravery in saying that. You are going to hear some more after 7:30. Somebody does get very emotional.
Well, you expect bravery from a town that educated not only Stephen Hawking, but the 6th member of S Club 7.
Yeah, the fat one.
Just, could you do us a favour? There's another story.
Yeah.
You all right, Catherine? Catherine's crying, I think. Come on, it'll be all right. We've still got their records.
Come over me.
He's what? We've still got their records. We've got their DVDs.
Still going to carry on.
Yeah, it'll be fine, don't worry.
It won't be the same.
Justin, the front page of The Sun, the Sun is doing an interesting thing. They are shaming...
Oh.
You all right, girl? Come here, I'll give you a hug in a minute. Do you want to sit on my lap?
I'm all right.
Oh. The Sun is shaming Ed Miliband for not supporting their Help for Heroes campaign.
Right.
And I feel uncomfortable with public shaming for not supporting a specific charity.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
It makes me feel a little bit awkwardo.
Whoever you are, you're going to have some sort of association to a charity for whatever's happened in your life, and that is your choice to support a certain charity. It was a bit like the Ice Bucket Challenge, wasn't it?
No, yeah.
People that weren't doing it were being named and shamed, and that for me was totally wrong.
And also, if you look at the pictures of Cameron, Clegg and Farage posing...
Yeah.
It could be said they're doing it for entirely the wrong... Look at me.
Exactly. The motive is not pure. It's not the spirit of giving that charity's supposed to be about.
Charity is supposed to be... a lot of it is about humility. So you don't go around going, hey, guys, I'm wearing this band and I'm supporting this charity and I've given them £5,000.
Well, that was the joke. That was the joke with Smash It Nicely, wasn't it? Does a lot of good work for charity.
Does nice to talk about it.
Yeah.
Just, could you take that to the streets? I'm not quite sure what the question would be, but it's about the public shaming of Miliband. Is the Sun right to shame him for not supporting a charity?
Leave it to me, boss.
Cheers, my
Come
dears.
up with the goods.
Ta-ta, 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting to build up a little bit on the M1 Luton Spur, just between junction 10A for the Kidneywood roundabout and junction 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road. Those major roadworks are continuing there. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, very slow moving between junction 21 for the M1 and junction 20 at Kings Langley. In Brickywood, it is looking heavy on the sensors just at junction 21A for the M25, and on camera in Borehamwood looking heavy on the Barnet bypass. That's heading southbound between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus. No reported problems on the trains. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. So, what have we got in the next hour? Public shaming of people who don't support charities? Transgender issues? And if you need to have a shoulder to cry because of Jason Orange, then you can use my big broad shoulders.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: major development plans in Hertfordshire, Buckinghamshire MP backing airstrike plans, and more home comforts for Milton Keynes Dons.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. More from Tony Fisher.
Dacorum Borough Council says it has to develop the Greenbelt land to meet the housing need, citing exceptional circumstances. 200 new homes are set to be built in Tring and 1,200 new homes will be built in Hemel. Across both towns there will be a total of 17 traveller pitches, with 5 in Tring and the rest in Hemel. A consultation on the plans will run until early November.
David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. Speaking in New York, he said that past mistakes should not be an excuse for inaction. The Cabinet is due to discuss joining US-led airstrikes, with MPs voting on the issue tomorrow. The former Attorney General and Beaconsfield MP Dominic Grieve says there is a sound legal basis for bombing IS.
As long as the Prime Minister considers that the United Kingdom can help and that we can use reasonable, necessary and proportionate means to achieve a legitimate aim, which is to stop the unlawful activity taking place, then the intervention by ourselves or indeed anybody else in support of the Iraqi government will undoubtedly be lawful.
Staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut as part of plans to restructure the company. More than 90% voted in favour of pay cuts of up to 30%. Strike action had been threatened over plans to cut 1,000 jobs. News of the vote comes the day after confirmation of likely new owners next month. Unions say the workers are sacrificing a lot and remain committed to the future of Monarch in Luton. The A414 North Orbital Road has reopened in Hertfordshire this morning, more than 24 hours after an accident closed the westbound carriageway. The road was closed in the early hours of yesterday morning after a lorry jackknifed near the London Colney roundabout. The resulting diesel spill meant the road had to be resurfaced, causing lengthy delays for drivers. A transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's MK exhibition. Milton Keynes Modelling Angels says it's been told it can't include the model Michelle in the show. More from Ewan Duncan.
The Milton Keynes-based modelling firm had arranged an audition which was filmed on behalf of the MK exhibition event. The company's managing director, Angie Soa, said she then heard that the transgender model couldn't be included in the fashion show because it wasn't the right venue. She said she was told that it's not discrimination, but they were just being practical. The MK exhibition organiser, Peter Barnett, said the fashion show was something that was talked about, but never agreed or advertised to be part of the exhibition.
The band Take That are to continue as a trio following the decision by Jason Orange to leave. He informed the remaining members of the band, Gary Barlow, Mark Owen and Howard Donald, at a meeting last week. In sport, Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the fourth round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a fourth successive home game in this season's competition. The weather, a sunny start with cloud increasing but staying dry in most places. A maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
You can do it right now, please.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
I love to go down the lake, have a little walk around.
Exploring where you live.
It's friendly. To me, it feels like a giant village.
All this week, we're exploring St Albans.
Bit of history here and there, nice green areas.
St Albans has always been a market town.
It's the best kept secret in Hertfordshire.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
MeetFreeMondays.com. Pledge.meetfreemondays.com. You can do it right now, please.
All right, Grandad. And I love McCartney, but still. Hey, morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. The show's suddenly starting to kick off a little bit. I like it. So, coming up, we'll be talking about transgender troubles. Is there anybody going to be brave enough to phone in and use the F word, the freak word? Because I know there will be people out there thinking, blimey, really? You're talking about that? 08459 455 555. The Sun have done an interesting thing, and I think they've judged this one wrongly. They are shaming on the front page, they are shaming Ed Miliband for not supporting Help for Heroes. And I think they've got this one a little bit wrong, Catherine.
It's not really the spirit of giving, is it? When you have to have a picture taken. I mean, the way they're posing with their armband suggests, OK, there you go. just demonstrating that I'm wearing it. Can you leave me alone now, please?
If you are bullied or shamed into supporting a charity, well then the intent is not there. It's not true to do that. And also, I just think bullying and shaming people because they don't do things, I think it's wrong.
So when did charity become about Top Show and keeping up appearances? It's all wrong, isn't it?
08459 455 555. And yeah, it's sad news, pop fans. Jason Orange has left Take That. Don't worry, the 3 remaining members are going to carry on. But if you're heartbroken, you can give us a call. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I would imagine, Catherine, that a lot of people are either too upset to actually phone in about this, or for medical reasons they're not allowed access to telephones.
I mean, I haven't felt this bereft since the roofers left E70.
I mean, let's go through some of those heartfelt texts about Jason Orange. Let's read those texts. Just pick half a dozen at random.
Hang on a sec. I think they might be so upset that they're not.
They're not texting.
They're going to keep the phone off today, maybe. I don't know. Let me just check.
81333. Start your text 3CR, and we really will do our best to get you through these difficult times.
Let me just check.
Just pick the first 10 texts at random.
Okay. I feel sorry for people in tribute acts like Fake That, says Mark in Milton Keynes. Yes, think of the innocent victims in this.
Yeah. The fake Jason Oranges around the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad news for those people.
Just pick a couple more. Okay, no, you're right. They probably switched their phones off. Don't want any more bad news. So, Catherine, thanks very much. Sensitively handled.
Oh, they're showing him on the telly.
Oh, gosh. Now, do you remember when you could end a planning row with 2 words? Not those, you potty mouth. Green belt. Well, you might have more luck with the sweary option now, because developers and councils are finding ways round the traditional restrictions with another 2 words: exceptional circumstances. The latest case of this is in Tring in Hertfordshire, where there's a proposal to build 200 homes and a traveller site on the Green Belt. Well, Kevin Fitzgerald is from the Hertfordshire branch of the Campaign to Protect Rural England. How has this change come about, Kevin? Because I always thought Greenbelt meant you can't do nothing with it.
Well, it's absolutely right. It does mean that, and this is very odd what's going on here, because the government in its new planning rules have made it absolutely clear that it is government policy to continue to protect the Green Belt. And we've got people like the various local authorities saying, but the government's putting pressure on us to build, and we can only do it by taking land out of the Green Belt. But ministers have said, no, that's not the case. And if you find you can only meet your housing needs by building on the Green Belt, then you can't meet your housing needs. So there's a lot of confusion going on here. You don't know quite who to believe.
Well, yeah, the phrase that's being bandied around is exceptional circumstances.
Absolutely. Yep, that's in the law. The law says that the only way you can remove land from the Green Belt is through your district plan in exceptional circumstances. It's not defined, but, most of us know what exceptional means, and just because developers want to build somewhere, it's not really exceptional these days. And I don't think this council is showing anywhere in their documentation or their consultation what anybody would regard as exceptional circumstances.
There is a shortage of homes, and some places are chock-a-block. They've got no space. So do we have to reconsider where we can and can't build on?
Well, yeah, we do. We do have to do that, and we have to perhaps look at a much bigger picture and say, well, why is it all happening down here in the southeast? It's a very small country, this, and we're being crammed in our particular areas down this part of the world, and yet they're an hour up the road. There are people crying out for development and growth, and there's bags of space, and there's brownfield sites where factories are demolished.
People want to live near London, don't they, I suppose? It's the capital. It's the busiest city.
We all learnt from quite an early age, didn't we? We can't always have what we want. And, there are other sides to this argument. There's quality of life. People think they're moving out into the country, and then, in fact, the country's disappearing quite fast, and when they get there, they're disappointed because they're building all over the place. There is a much bigger picture here, and people who live in countries like Australia and Canada can't sort of believe that we are concerned about sort of moving 100 miles away or an hour away or 2 hours away and living somewhere else. And transport needs to be improved, yes, but that's improving all the time. So I think the whole thing needs to be reassessed. where in this little country do we encourage people to go to do their businesses and to live?
Some of these developments also have traveller sites attached. Do traveller sites, are they classed as a development?
Yes, they are, and quite often they've been turned down by planning inspectors on the grounds that it's inappropriate development in the green belt or in the countryside. So it's the same as any other development, yeah.
Tring is one of the 6 Greenbelt sites in total in the Dacorum area, which is going to be built on. It does sound excessive, doesn't it?
It does, and it's not just in Dacorum. It's happening right across the county here in Hertfordshire. Great swathes of Greenbelt are being threatened as councils produce their plans and saying, we have no alternative but to, and it's getting quite worrying, especially for the sort of residents who live around there.
Kevin, I appreciate your time this morning. Kevin Fitzgerald from the Hertfordshire branch of the Campaign to Protect Rural England.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Peter's in Walmer Green. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
What would you like to have a whinge about today, sir?
Well, I was going to ask you, what was the last year that you remember where politicians didn't take a photo opportunity? Must have been prehistoric times at least.
Oh, of course they love a photo opportunity. Of course, and with an election coming up, even more photo opportunity.
All the time.
Your point being, sir?
Well, my point being is that what they do is they take a photo opportunity and they talk about things and ignore the plight of the people they're talking about quite often. So,
in fairness to David Cameron and Nick Clegg and Farage, they are having this photo taken with the Help for Heroes wristband, and I'm sure they are not ignoring the plight I'm sure they're not ignoring the plight of wounded troops.
Well, I just hope that these wounded troops and the soldiers who come home from battles and that sort of thing are able to live in areas that they've lived all their life, and that's not probably true.
Do you think the Sun is right in shaming Ed Miliband for not wearing a Help for Heroes wristband?
Not at all. I mean, how many wristbands you got to wear?
Do you know what?
Rainbow one as well?
If you wanted to, Peter.
Well, I mean, it's so political. It's political jargon, isn't it? You know that, and I know that.
I really am one of. Sometimes you see people. I saw a fella the other day. He had about 6 different plastic wristbands on, and I did think, oh mate, for goodness sakes, why do we have to wear our charities on our sleeves? Quite literally, in some cases. I always thought charity was about. You do it, and you're not doing it for plaudits or a pat on the back. You're doing it, and that's it.
Well, I only really wear 2 from time to time.
What wristbands?
That's the poppy.
Oh.
And it's the daffodil one for
the Welsh.
The breast cancer.
Oh, the breast cancer. That's the breast cancer one, of course, isn't it? Yes.
And furthermore, I don't feel pressured by these people because I think it's a lot. What's going on is nonsense.
Right.
I mean, I'm more concerned really with the plight of people.
Jason Orange?
Pardon?
How do you feel about Jason Orange?
Who the hell's Jason Orange?
Oh.
Is this another non-existent celebrity?
How quickly they forget.
Pardon?
How quickly you forget, Pete.
No, forget things? I don't forget things at all. Who's Jason Orange? He's not very well known, is he?
Oh, Peter.
Oh dear.
Peter, thanks very much for your time. And
You're welcome.
I hope you're
I hope
okay.
Jason's not listening.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, isn't it?
That's a great quote. I don't forget things. Who's Jason Orange? Thank you, Peter. 08459 455 555. Very quickly, Catherine, I know how to make you happy.
Oh, really?
Sunshine and hugs.
Oh.
There is a survey that has been done by an insurance company.
What's in it for them?
I don't know. They've done a survey.
Sunshine and hugs and knowing you're protected should the worst happen.
And a quick payout, please. And no arguments.
Yeah.
They've got 10. They've come up with the 10 things that make us cheerful. And they all sound a little bit...
limp.
Pony, yeah, rubbish. Number 10, receiving help from a stranger. That creeps me out. That makes me...
Depends on the situation.
I told you the last time I received help from a stranger, I was in a car park. I was about to buy a parking ticket. The woman said, I've got an all-day ticket. I'm about to go. You can have it. Oh, thanks very much. She saved me £1.20.
That's excellent.
As we turned to walk away, she slipped on the newly Dettoled floor, fell over really heavily, left me in an uncomfortable position.
She was in an uncomfortable position in a crumpled heap.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was more uncomfortable. Do I touch her?
Yes.
To pick her up?
Yes, you help her.
Well, I went to. She didn't need it. It was embarrassing. She was obviously in pain. I then had to follow her to her car when she obviously wanted to be on her own.
Oh.
Very selfish of her.
Very, very selfish.
Number 9 reasons to be cheerful. Receiving a small gift, e.g. flowers. Well, we discussed this the other day. No one likes getting flowers.
If you're going to give them to me in a vase ready done with water in, fair enough. Otherwise, it's a faff.
And even then, it's still a pain because you've got to chuck them away when they die.
And don't give me carnations.
Oh.
I'll have a flower.
What?
Even a bag of flour.
Let's do one more and then we'll do some more of these a bit later on. Seeing a member of your family unexpectedly, I can't think of anything worse.
Oh, I love that.
If you are a member of my family, I probably don't want to see you. And if I do, can you give me at least 3 weeks' notice so I can come up with a good excuse not to? 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting to build up now on the A1M heading southbound, just between Junction 8 at Stevenage and Junction 6 for Welwyn. The M25 is looking very slow at the moment, heading anti-clockwise between Junction 21 for the M1 and Junction 19 at Watford. Also heavy anti-clockwise on the M25 between Junction 18 at Chorleywood and Junction 16 for the M40. In Borehamwood, the Barnet bypass, that's looking heavy between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus on the camera. And in East Barnet, there is some junction improvements taking place on Brookhill Road just at Cat Hills. I do expect some delays there. No reported problems on the trains. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. 7:16. It's Thursday, the 25th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State terrorists. And staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut of up to 30% as part of plans to restructure the company.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday morning, local opinions.
Well, I think it's a very difficult proposition.
You really cannot allow your heart to rule your head.
Local stories.
I wanted to call my house Hardcore Mansions. They refused that on 2 separate occasions.
I wasn't leaving the house through the fear as to what I would find when I came back.
Local life.
I bought a car within 3 months. It's rusty.
They said that the deposit would be forthcoming. It wasn't.
The JVS Show. Weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
A lot of reaction on Twitter to the sad news that Jason Orange has left. Take that at Iain Lee, at BBC3CR if you want to get in touch. Tim Gardner says the rest of Take That are devastated about Jason Orange leaving. Who's going to remember their Starbucks order now? And it is those kind of small details that you have to keep in mind.
That's when it'll catch them. Yeah. That's when it'll catch them.
Jason knew that I like millionaire shortcake. He would have got me that, not a pan of chocolate.
Is that Gary Barlow?
Why not? Chris is in Hertfordshire. Morning, Chris.
Good morning, Iain. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, mate. What have you got for us?
Iain, I think I've got a bit of a solution to this housing crisis that we're meant to be having in this country at the moment.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I should be in local government, I tell you. It's the Planning Act that's wrong with this country. The Planning Act restricts people from building their own homes, which in turn pushes up the prices of houses. What happens is you get large corporations that build up big banks of land, which pushes up house prices. Building houses is relatively cheap, to be honest with you. You can build a house for £150,000 and have a nice 4 or 5 bedroom house. It's the cost of land that's prohibitive.
But who wants to build their own house, though? And I know that it can make financial sense in some areas, but flipping it, what a lot of faff. Getting an architect, getting the land, getting it all drawn up, waiting 8 months for it to be built.
OK, let's go for a different pronged approach then. Farmers at the moment are land rich and money poor, and we know that because we're subsidising farmers by paying them to keep fields blank for wildlife, supposedly, and that's what the Green Belt is for. Rather than paying the farmers as subsidies, why don't we change the Planning Act, allow farmers to sell a little piece of their land in small plots for people who do want to self-build, which would give farmers money, which would enable people to build cheaper houses and would solve the housing crisis.
Well, would it solve the housing crisis? I don't know. I think there's certainly a nugget of an idea in there. I don't know how many houses we are short, but I'm sure it's hundreds of thousands. And by farmers selling a little bit of land, how many houses is that really going to get us?
Well, for example, on a field that is probably 2 acres wide, you could probably build 5 or 6 houses.
Right.
If we said that everybody spent £150,000 building a house of their own, the house of their dreams, rather than spending £400,000 or £500,000 on a house that's built in a crammed development, then everybody might be a bit happier, the farmer would be a bit richer, people would have more money in their pockets, and these large companies wouldn't keep all the money.
OK, but if that's not going to solve the housing crisis, though, is it? That's not going to build anywhere near enough houses.
No, but it goes some way towards bringing the price of houses down, which means that then other builders would have to compete with that and would have to drop their prices, which means that competition would grow.
I do worry about my kids, right, because I've got quite a nice house and I've paid off a lot of the mortgage, all right, so I'm doing all right. And if it and I plan to be there for a long time. So if the price goes down, it's fine. I'm living there, but I've got that investment. So I've been quite lucky and I've played the game quite well. How on earth are my kids ever going to afford a house?
Well, exactly. I'm a house builder myself. And I won't tell you the company. I won't tell you the company I work for, but I work for a large company. I'm a northern boy. I moved from up north down south, and I build houses all day, every day, good quality houses. But I can't afford to buy one myself, even though I build
them. It's nuts, isn't it? It's nuts.
Which is an absolutely ridiculous situation, and it's soon going to come to the point where houses are £1 million each. They're already averaging kind of £300,000, £400,000, £500,000 each.
So what needs to be done? Someone needs to, and this would never happen because it would be an instant election loser. Someone needs to reset the housing market. They just need to press the reset button and just halve all the property, half the price of the property.
They need to revise the Planning Act, which this government said that they would do, and they'd make it easier for self-builders, but I don't see any evidence of it. I don't see farmers selling off pieces of their land. I don't see it being made easier to connect to local services. I don't see it. You know, the Victorians had it right when they set up building societies. When was the last time you heard of a group of builders getting together and going to a building society and getting money and building a terrace of houses?
Chris, listen, I'm moving on just because we're a busy show, but I appreciate that, and it's certainly a different line of thought you've given us. Building your house, it can be cheap, but does anyone really want to go through the faff of doing that? It'd be nice, but it's a lot of hard work when there are houses there. But also, I do worry about my kids. How are my boys going to be able to afford to buy a house in 25, 30 years' time? They won't will if things keep going the way they are going. 08459 455 555. Now, a model from Milton Keynes has been told she's not welcome on the catwalk at next month's MK exhibition because she was born a man. Well, at least that's the way her agent's taken the decision to drop Michelle from the lineup. Angie Sowa is the managing director of MK Modelling Angels and joins me now. So what's going on here, Angie?
Hi, yes, good morning, Ian. Yes, well, I'm just a bit surprised as yourself that the MK exhibition decided not to allow me to do the fashion show because when they found out that one of my models is a transgender, so I'm a bit, disappointed and...
So you just tell us about what the fashion show was supposed to be.
Well, the fashion show is supposed to, because MK Exhibition is all about networking and promoting local businesses. I am a local business. I've just started my modeling agency in Milton Keynes, and with me are aspiring models and aspiring designers as well, as designers who are have their own little businesses designing clothes, and I thought it would be a good idea to expose them as well and at the same time sell their creations during the day.
OK, so you planned this, and one of your... is it just one of your models that's transgender?
Yeah, just one of my models
Michelle,
isn't transgender. MK Exhibition has invited me to do a fashion show to make make MK Exhibition a bit more lively and entertaining.
And at what point did they say, oh, no, you've got a transgender model, we're going to cancel this?
Oh, they only actually, last Thursday, one of their partners, a company called Movi, decided to take a video of our auditions last 12 of September, and the owner of the director or manager of that company decided to report to the MK exhibition that when she videotaped our auditions, she found that a third of the models that auditioned were transgender.
Oh.
And so when I was approached by the organizer of MK exhibition asking whether it is true, I said there's not a third. There was only one transgender out of 8 models that auditioned during that casting call event on the 12th of September.
And it was at that point, once they realised, according to you, they realised there was a transgender model, they said, we're not having this now.
Yes, they realised that they were not having
Did
this.
they say specifically they weren't having it because of Michelle?
Yes, and I also told them that there were also other transgenders during the auditions, but they're not models.
Oh.
One is a choreographer, which came all the way from Liverpool to help me, help me how the models would walk and how they would approach the stage. And the other transgender in the team was a supervisor. She was just there to help me organize the show itself.
And you're saying, Angie, so I just want to hone in on this, just so I make sure I've got the story right.
Yeah.
What did the organisers specifically say to you?
The organizer specifically said that the business community in Milton Keynes is too conservative and that they're not ready to see a transgender on stage.
So they're cancelling. So we are cancelling the event.
Yes, they're cancelling the event.
We spoke to the organisers. They're too busy to join us this morning. But he's suggesting that the fashion show was something that was talked about, but was never actually agreed. So it was just an idea that was floating around.
Well, it was agreed during a meeting that we had on the 1st of September. He invited me to his office, and we even agreed as to who's going to compare the fashion show. And he brought up the idea that perhaps MKFM will do the comparing, and I said that's fine. And he gave me a time slot, which is 1 o'clock.
And do you have any of this in writing, Angie? The confirmation of this?
They were all verbal. Instead, I have a confirmation from one of his partners that I am appearing during the event, and the rest are all verbal communication. He didn't want, I suppose he didn't want to put it in writing as to what his opinion is, and what he did is to send me an email, and he wanted to discuss it with me on the phone.
Again, the event organiser says that you're making something out of nothing. Your response to that, please.
Oh, well, I don't... Well, it could be, or it could be not. It could be a big issue about transgender. I'm an inclusive agency. I welcome all applicants for models from all shapes and sizes, including the LGBT community. And he thinks that the word inclusive doesn't include the LGBT community. He thought it's all about just fat, thin, black, white people, and not the LGBT community.
Okay, so just to clarify, Angela, the gentleman we spoke to said it wasn't practical. It didn't kind of fit in with their plans.
No,
you're saying he specifically said to you, the business community here is too conservative. They won't accept transgender, so therefore we are not having this fashion show.
Yes, that's correct.
Angie, I really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much, Iain.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, slightly different to what we've been told by the organisers of. We've got. But I wish the organisers had come on.
He's too busy.
Yeah.
He's planning an event. 7:30.
It would have taken 10 minutes of his time. And if he's still listening, you're more than welcome to come on 08459 455 555. And the reason I offer that invitation, and the reason I'm disappointed you're not here, is because what Angie has just told us goes completely against what you told members of our team yesterday. So. Who do we believe? I'm always inclined to believe the person I'm speaking to as opposed to the person that's just sent a statement. That's just my natural inclination. If that's unfair, if that's biased, if that's incorrect, well, then come on and tell me. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Looking rather heavy moving at the moment on the A1M heading southbound between Junction 8 for Stevenage and Junction 6 for Welland Garden City. The M1 Luton Spur building a bit on the speed sensors just between Junction 10A for the Kidney Wood roundabout and Junction 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, looking rather busy on the sensors between Junction 21 the M1 and Junction 19 for Watford. In Boreham Wood looking slow on camera on the Barnet bypass, that's heading southbound between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus, and taking a look so far at the A414 in Park Street, that's looking rather slow just around the Park Street roundabout. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30, I'm Simon Oxley. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that it's right for Britain to join international airstrikes against Islamic State extremists in Iraq. He's recalling Parliament tomorrow to secure approval for airstrikes. Staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut of up to 30% as part of plans to restructure the company. And the A414 North Orbital Road has reopened in Hertfordshire this morning, more than 24 hours after an accident closed the westbound carriageway.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the 4th round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a 4th successive home game in this season's competition. They will host the Blades at Stadium MK on October the 28th or 29th. In last night's 3rd round matches, Frank Lampard scored twice as Manchester City thrashed Sheffield Wednesday 7-0. Here's City manager Manuel Pellegrini.
I saw again the team that we try always to play in that way. Maybe this year we are not scoring so many goals here at home, so this is the first game that we return to be the team that everyone and our fans saw last year here at home.
Elsewhere, Chelsea beat Bolton 2-1, Tottenham beat Nottingham Forest 3-1 and Newcastle were 3-2 extra-time winners at Crystal Palace. But Palace boss Neil Warnock was unhappy with his club's decision to announce the next round draw away to Manchester City before extra-time over the Tannoy.
I'll be taking it further. I thought it was a disgrace. We'd just equalised. You don't want to kill the crowd. I thought it was a mistake on our behalf, and I'll be finding out why we did it, because I thought it was wrong. But I'll find out why we did it.
Elsewhere in the 4th round draw, Chelsea will travel to League Two Shrewsbury. Liverpool are at home to Swansea. In golf, the opening ceremony for the Ryder Cup at Glen Eagles takes place today. Both captains will also announce tomorrow's first day pairings. And in rugby, Wycombe-based Wasps are being linked with a move to Coventry's Ricoh Arena. Wasps have been playing at Adams Park since 2002. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, this is Iain Lee. BBC Three Counties Radio is what we've done. Just messing around on the internet. You're right.
Yeah, just had a nice video.
I just seen a little video of your little girl.
She's very happy with her dinosaur cake.
She's always wanted a dinosaur cake.
I mean, that, of course, is a lie. Last week she wanted Peppa Pig.
Well, you don't know it's a lie. I mean, she's not been around for that long.
No. Well, always is a long time when you're 3.
Now, listen, it's BBC Introducing Day, Kelly Betts. But what does that mean? I know Roberto's going to be at the Horn tonight.
He's getting the Horn.
Yeah.
BBC Introducing finally has a day. I mean, you've got Eat an Apple Day. You've got Give an Old Man a Cake Day. What? You've got Punch a Presenter Day, which is tomorrow. Bring some tissues.
Yes.
And today is BBC Introducing Day.
And what happens? How can we get involved?
Different things are happening today.
Well, why don't you tell us? I've asked you 4 times now.
She's building it up.
Oh, sorry.
It's across the whole of the BBC. But, I mean, you obviously only care about what's happening on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, I care about the whole day.
This show is all he cares
about. The Shires are coming in.
Be with you in a second, Just.
Yeah, no worries, boss.
Thanks, Justin. The Shires are coming in. Country duo from Bedfordshire.
They're good. Like them.
They're very good.
Like them a lot.
Requested them,
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
I think I think Look East or someone might be coming in to film that, because if you look around your studio, there's fancy lights.
Yeah, those guys.
Something's going down.
Those jokers.
JVS is playing a couple of his favourite introducing tracks too.
Hand-picked by Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Yeah, as is Nick Coffer. Nick Coffer.
Yep.
And then Roberto is live from the Horn.
Why would you call a venue the Horn? Let's be, seriously. Catherine?
Why not?
As in...
Oh, yeah. Excellent stuff.
Yeah.
And if people want to get involved...
Yeah,
they
hashtag BBC Introducing Day.
Why not? Why not? Sounds like a lot of fun.
If you are in a band and you've been on the BBC Introducing show, feel free to send us a video or a quote of what Introducing has done for you, and then we can spread it about.
Justin, what has Introducing done for you?
Nothing.
What?
This is my beef with this programme, OK? It's a great concept. The other week, I said, I can sing, I can perform, I'm unsigned, when am I going on the show? Have I got a call back? No.
Oh, you didn't ring me.
No,
you've
I
got
spoke
to
to
upload
you.
You've got to have you got a demo that you can upload to
I'm cheating the system. I'm going straight to the top.
Introducing.
Face to face.
Give me a demo. Perform live for me.
Just did that the other week.
Perform live for us now. Where you go, Just?
Please release me, let me go. How great is that?
Of course, there's another one of your classic hits you could sing.
Oh, I'm gonna get myself a cheesy crumpet. It tastes really cheesy and good.
That is quite possibly world class.
Exactly.
Well, I gotta say, Justin, that really is one of the worst things I've never heard. I love it. You're through to the next round.
You look like a pop star. You smell like a pop star.
You're a pop star. You're a pop star.
Cheers, guys.
I keep missing the claps.
Well, I didn't get it.
Anyway, Justin.
I don't know who that was. Graham Norton?
Yeah, why not? Sure. Justin.
Yeah.
Sad news. Let's focus. It's a good day for music for BBC Introducing.
Thank you.
It's a sad day for music because Jason Orange has left Take That.
Yep, front page news.
This morning, I say, Catherine and I saw you bent over double. You were taking it hard.
Yes, I was. I was taking it very hard.
I should have given it to you.
You should have introduced it gently.
I should have presented it to you in a much gentler fashion. Instead, I just chucked it at you, it in your face,
And said, "Take that."
Take that, and you took it hard, mate. And I'm really sorry. It was awful to see you taking it so hard.
It was very unpleasant, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, I'm sorry, mate. That was insensitive
There
of
were
me.
tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to get so messy.
Even though he can't sing, he can't dance, he's a very important member of Take That.
He can dance. He can dance.
He's an actor. He's in the Killer Net.
Is he?
Yeah, great film.
I've been in St Albans this morning, the home of our big tour this week, taking the front page news that Jason Orange has quit Take That. I've been taking this to the streets, and Iain, here's what happened.
Caroline, you seem to be taking this quite well. What's your reaction to Jason leaving Take That?
It's quite sad. Big fan, and I'm sorry to see him go.
Oh, goodness, that little tear?
A little bit.
You're genuinely upset about this?
I am a bit.
Oh, bless you. Oh, come here. Let me give you a cuddle. Come on.
you.
Listen, don't worry. They're going to carry on.
I know they are.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought they'd split anyway years ago.
So in actual fact, it's sad news, but not too sad, because they are going to carry on. But of course,
Exactly.
Jason being there, he's always been there for you, and now he's gone. It's going to be hard to take for a few days, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, I'll leave you to it.
All right,
Thank you very much. Hey, John. Morning.
Morning.
A lot of people very upset about the news that Jason Orange has now left Take That.
Right.
Can you give me your thoughts, please?
I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah. Now you've heard about it, how does it make you feel?
Well, yeah, quite upset. Yeah.
Why do you think he's so popular with everyone here in St Albans, and not just here but across the country? What is it about Jason Orange that really does it for you?
I suppose it was everybody liked his dancing and Take That, didn't they? Yeah.
Great dancer.
Yeah.
Terrific stuff. Okay, well, hopefully you can try and get on with your day. Just try and get it out of your mind, okay?
Yeah.
He's gone now. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Morning, Dominic. Nice helmet, by the way. Take That, Jason Orange.
Yeah.
He's now left. A lot of people here very, very upset about that news. How do you feel?
No, I'm not bothered, mate. Not bothered at all.
You're not bothered?
No. I've got to go, mate.
Can you take your helmet off so we can talk properly?
No, I haven't got time for this, mate.
Okay, thank you. Morning, Stacey. So, Jason's left. It's actually happened. What's your reaction?
It's a bit sad because he's quite a good-looking guy, so, it's a bit of a loss to Take That, really.
He's a good-looking guy, but he can't sing and he can't dance.
I don't know. Who can in a boy band nowadays without a bit of trialling?
Are you upset, though?
Not really. No.
Life goes on.
It sure does.
Thanks, Dave.
See you, darling.
A lot of emotion there, Justin. I had an email from Ken on this. I think everyone will remember where they were when they heard the news. I was in the loo, says Ken. So.
Now, the speculation is rife on the texts this morning.
Go on.
Daz the trucker is saying, I wonder if Jason Orange got squeezed out. And another one, Stu and Bedford.
Hey! That is good, sorry.
That's a while, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good one, that.
I bet the rest have taken that are worried now they've lost such an integral part of the group. Who will do Jason's part in all the songs? Wait, does he have any parts? Congrats to take that. Lost some dead wood. Oh, it's turned.
Deadwood.
Maybe concerts will be cheaper now as they won't need to pay $4.
Oh, dear. 08459 455 555. Your thoughts on that. And, Justin, if you could take this to the streets. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I forgot to...
Taking it to the streets with J-Dog.
J-Dog. Actually, it's growing on me, I'll be honest.
I like the Peter Andrews bit.
If you could take this to the streets... the public shaming by the son of Ed Miliband for not wearing a Help for Heroes wristband. They're really having a go at it. Front page news. They've got Cameron, Clegg and Farage wearing their Help for Heroes wristbands.
Yep.
And they've got a blank space where Miliband should be. I think it's really unfair. I don't think you can bully people into supporting charities.
No, you can't. And how many people give to charities on a monthly basis but would never tell anybody because that's personal to them? If they want to donate to a charity... That's their choice, not the public's choice or your friend's choice. It's their personal choice.
Justin, speak to you later on, mate.
Take care, boss.
Ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. Mark's in Milton Keynes. Good morning, Mark.
Morning.
What would you like to say, sir?
Christmas is coming, la 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 la.
What? What's that?
It's our Christmas song.
Yours?
Well, it's your Christmas song, Mark.
It's yours, guys.
No, it's not. Not my...
That sounds like a remix, a legal remix.
With the news that Orange chap has left, take that. We might be going to war. I think everyone could do a bit of cheering up with the Christmas
Just
song.
sing your Christmas song again, Mark.
Christmas is coming, la 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 la.
Right, OK, well, you're singing the Coca-Cola theme. Mine and Kelly Beck's Christmas song, which you had no part in writing, goes like this. Christmas time, la 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 la. Christmas time, la 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 la. Christmas time, la 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 la.
Just the men.
Christmas time, la 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 la. Now the ladies.
Christmas time, la la la.
Just Kelly.
Christmas time, la 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 la.
Just Catherine.
Get a grip.
Oh, for goodness sakes, mate.
Well, humbug, Catherine.
Said, what a Scrooge. Mark, listen, I thought we established last year that you've got no writing credit on this song.
You must make notes about the callers. I think I do have some rights.
Well, OK, re-establish your claim, please. Because I wrote the initial song. Kelly made it a whole lot better. Thanks for that, girls.
Welcome.
So that's the Lee Betts writing team. How does Mark get involved?
Promotion and management.
Well, you couldn't even remember the words. And we haven't spoken to you for 9 months. Where's the management contact there?
I do ring Jonathan a lot, to be fair.
Are you managing Jonathan? Or are you managing me and Kelly?
This is how Scylla felt.
Exactly. I have worked with agents who are worse than this, actually, but still.
Between the three of you, come on. You've got 2 producers in there.
Don't bring me into this. I've got nothing to do with this song. I'm opting out.
Do you know what, Mark? I'm yay close, and I need to speak to Kelly about this privately. I am yay close to sacking you off as our manager.
No, don't do that.
Hang on, Mark.
Too many people leaving bands already today. Come on, guys.
It's true. It'd be very sad. Mark, do you have any talent? Maybe you could be in a video. Can you juggle?
I can't juggle. No.
What use could you be to us?
I'm quite pretty.
Can we mop jelly off you?
Oh.
Well, yeah, potentially.
He's missed a 15%, and he ain't done nothing for his 15%. And I haven't even got... I'm not...
Contract.
Mark, listen, all right, OK. All right, Kelly, tell me if you agree with this. Mark, I give you 4 more months as our manager, and if the song doesn't make it this year, then we really will have to think long and hard about whether we want to keep you or not.
I'll take that. Done.
OK, thank you very much
indeed. Take that pun there as well.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, as managers go, I have had worse agents.
I do like his cheek, though. That kind of brass neck.
He's got chutzpah.
Yeah.
He's like shallot.
If I was in your band, I'd be...
You'd be asked to leave. Yeah. Hey, Kelly! Do you fancy a rehearsal, Kels?
Yes, please.
Oh, can we stop this? It's not even
Christmas
December.
time. La 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 la. It's Christmas time. La 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 la. It's Christmas time. La 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 la.
I wonder if that offer of joining Atomic Kitten still stands.
It's Christmas.
I don't think Kerry's up for it anymore. I'll send an email.
It's Christmas time.
There we go.
La 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 la. It's Christmas
Dear
time.
kittens,
La 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 la.
you know I said I didn't have time because I was producing an award-winning breakfast show.
Christmas.
Turns out I may have a window.
Christmas.
Perhaps
time.
I could make you whole again. Yeah, I like that.
Christmas time.
Love,
La 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 la.
Kath.
Christmas time. La 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 la. Beautiful.
Oh, man, we didn't even really need to rehearse.
Nice one.
Had it down.
What do you reckon, Kath?
Yeah.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Rather heavy moving now on the A1M heading southbound between Junction 8 at Stevenage and Junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City. In Park Street, the A414 is looking rather heavy moving on the speed sensors just around the Park Street roundabout, and very slow at the moment on the M25 heading anti-clockwise between Junction 18 at Chorleywood and Junction 16 for the M40. Take a look in Watford and it's looking very slow on the Exchange Road just around Upton Road on the sensors, and the M40 London bound looking rather heavy moving between Junction 1A for the M25.
Oh,
and
blimey, get it right, Nicola!
Roundabout. So far, looking at the trains, everything's moving rather well. No problems or delays. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah. 7:46, it's Thursday the 25th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. And an agency claims a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition because the business community is too conservative and not ready to see a transgender on stage. Your thoughts on that, please? Let's get the weather first. Here's Georgina.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there, it's a chilly but bright start to the day, but it does cloud over, and by this afternoon not much sunshine left at all, but it should stay dry. We've just got a light southwesterly wind with temperatures reaching 18 degrees Celsius. It's a cloudy but warmer night tonight with lows of 14 degrees, so tomorrow a bit of a grey day, but by the afternoon we're looking at the best chance of sunny spells really later on in the day. Temperatures reaching about 20 degrees Celsius. Now Saturday and Sunday start off a bit misty, foggy, and that could be slow to clear, but again we should have sunny intervals in the afternoon, and then Monday and Tuesday we've got an increasing risk of showers but remaining warm. That's your latest forecast.
I wonder what Roberto thinks about various things.
Every weekday from 3, Roberto Perroni.
Are league tables the best way to judge a school? Pal, do you have any sympathy for the Buckinghamshire golfer Iain Poulter? Police are issuing safety advice to women in Watford, but I'm fascinated by the age gap between her and her husband. Figures show that around £500,000 was spent in Hertfordshire last year clearing up after people who dump rubbish, then you just ate them.
Roberto Perroni.
There's been an extraordinary reaction on social media. My big concern is that no one ever worries about the victims. The whole system is designed to help the criminal.
Roberto Perroni. Weekdays from 3. BBC Three Counties Radio.
As part of BBC Introducing Day, Roberto Perroni is going to be at the Horn. Well, Lynn in Hemel has called in with some Horn facts. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Ian.
What have you got for us?
Firstly, I've got a little joke.
Oh, I like jokes. So, have you got your radio on?
Yeah, sorry, my legs aren't working.
Oh, blimey, OK.
Sorry.
Well, it sounds like we're in space, but go on.
Right, do you think Jason Orange left the band because he was pissed off?
She said pithed.
Yeah, and I was very careful how I said it.
You said pithed, yes, well done. That's almost got us out of trouble. Yes, go on.
The Horn is called the Horn of Plenty.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where Paul Young started off.
Oh.
Remember when he was in a band called the Q-Tip?
I do remember. Toast, a little bit of toast.
A little bit of toast.
Yep.
Well, he used to go there and perform there.
Oh, Lynn, I'm going to let you go because it does sound like you're in space. And, of course, who is the famous... Does anyone know this? This is my favourite bit of trivia. And I can't remember the answer, but someone will tell me. Who is the famous chef that broke into Paul Young's house and stole some of his guitars? You heard that story, Kath. There's a famous chef that broke into Paul Young's house and nicked his guitars and nicked loads of stuff. Can't remember. Who was it?
Gino Di Campo.
Gino Di Campo. Isn't that a weird bit of trivia? Have they since made up? I think they must have done. Anyway, 08459 455 555.
I bet they have, because Paul Young's a really nice bloke.
And I'm sure Gino Di Campo's a really nice bloke that was just going through issues at the time.
Yeah.
It's weird, though, isn't it?
It's very, very odd.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number should you wish to give us a call. Call. Now, it used to be the case that you couldn't build on greenbelt land because it was protected from development. Well, more and more now, developers and councils are finding ways round this in order to meet the housing needs, citing what the government call exceptional circumstances. The latest case of this is in Tring in Hertfordshire, where there's a proposal to build 200 homes and a traveller site on the Greenbelt. Joined now by Councillor Andrew Williams, who's leader of Decorum Council and responsible for planning and regeneration. Andrew, what are the exceptional circumstances here?
Well, it's not quite true to say that Greenbelt has never been built on.
It's very, very rare.
Well, Greenbelt is protected against sort of unplanned or unauthorised development, but during the process of planning for new housing, then looking at Greenbelt has always been a way of meeting that demand. And at the moment, demand for housing in Hertfordshire or the south of England, is very high, and we're having to look at additional sites to meet housing needs.
So, are you citing special circumstances here?
Yes, it's simply.
So, what are the special circumstances?
The need to meet our housing figures, which have been given to us, through the central government planning process.
OK, so the special circumstances are you've got nowhere else to build at all.
No, we've looked at all. It's not just building houses. Of course, we have to, other infrastructure, and we've looked at all of the options around reusing employment land, redeveloping sites, brownfield sites, and we've been very successful over recent years of keeping development on brownfield sites up into the 90%, reusing existing sites. But obviously, as you build more and more housing and the demand gets greater, you run out of used land to reuse.
Well, it does say here the local authorities with green belts in their area should establish green belt boundaries in their local plans, which set the framework for green belt policy. Once established, these boundaries should only be altered in exceptional circumstances. So saying that the green belt land is regularly built on is slightly misleading, isn't it?
It's not saying it's regularly built on, but it is regularly reviewed as part of the 20-year process. The core strategy local plan lasts for a period of around 20 years, and those boundaries are reviewed as part of that. We've been through the core strategy review, we've been through the planning inspector's review of our core strategy, and he's found the use of these sites to be, in planning terms, of acceptable use, and our new boundaries, our new green belt boundaries. The government does advise you, yes, to...
A local planning authority, these are the guidelines, a local planning authority should regard the construction of new buildings as inappropriate in green belt.
Yes, in day-to-day planning terms, you would resist development in green belt. But when you're doing your core strategy, your once every 20-year review, or whatever period it might be, then it's appropriate to look at those boundaries and to see where you're going to locate housing in terms of sustainable growth for your borough. So you wouldn't grant a planning application unplanned on the green belt. You would protect those green spaces. But during that process of reviewing your core strategy, it is appropriate, and it's taken us about 6 years now to go through a whole range of sites to look where we can meet housing demand. And in fact, even with the sites that we are allocating in the Greenbelt and other lands within our urban areas to be redeveloped, we're still not meeting the housing numbers that we're expected to meet. So we are still having a shortfall of housing within the borough.
So have I got this right? There are 6 Greenbelt sites which will be developed.
Yep.
When will that happen, and how many homes are we talking about?
We're talking about probably around 1,600 homes on Greenbelt sites out of a total of around 11,000. And because we want to encourage use of other sites first, none of the Greenbelt sites are planned to provide housing before 2021, and some will provide housing through towards the end of the plan period, which is up to 2031.
Is there not brownfield land that you could use?
Well, there is, because we are providing around 9,500 to 10,000 properties on brownfield sites. So.
And how much does that then fill up all of the brownfield land, or is there still plenty out there, but that perhaps you just don't want to pay for it?
No, because the borough council or the council, councils are not paying for the land. We're laying a framework of land use categories, and other developers, house builders, housing associations, or even the council in some cases, will develop those brownfield sites. Developing greenbelt sites is the last resort, and we have looked at,
So all of the brownfield land has been used up then?
Sorry?
All of the brownfield land has been used up?
During this, there's always things that might come forward, a factory that closes down or something that you couldn't plan for, a factory that closes down in 10 years' time that you wouldn't possibly know about now. But all known available sites that have been looked at as part of we know will become available during this plan period for housing. Not all sites can be used for housing because you still have to provide employment, shops, doctors, surgeries, schools.
It's a tough situation. What about negligent landlords who sit on their land doing nothing? Is there not a procedure where you could take them to court and get the land off them?
No, there isn't. You've probably heard governments talk about that, but I don't think, that's a big issue. It might be a big issue in areas where the housing market is not so strong and there's not a desire to develop out, but in areas where the housing market is very strong, like Hertfordshire, developers are building out sites almost as fast as they can. So I don't think land banking, as it's been described, is an issue, but it's still... Even we can't force a developer to build the houses, but even if a site is not being developed immediately, it's still included in our housing figures. So, we will, obviously preferable to increase the delivery, but that land is still allocated within our 11,000. So we're still using that land in terms of our quota before we move on to Greenbelt.
And in Tring and Hemel, there are going to be traveller sites attached with a total of 17 pitches. Is that right?
This is true.
Is this a new way of dealing with the traveller issue? Because there has been controversy before when traveller sites are proposed independently. Is this a way around that? Just tag them onto new developments?
It is the option the council has chosen. I wouldn't describe it as a way round, but yes, traveller sites have to be provided for. It's a community which the government recognises requires housing, and councils are obliged to plan for it. And we took a view in 2008, 2009, when we were starting this core strategy process, that we would provide those new traveller pitches alongside new large-scale developments, so that the two could be integrated together, and people, developers building the sites and people moving into the site were aware that the sites were provided as an integral part of that new development. So it does avoid the issue of trying to find sites on the edge of settled communities, which is is quite difficult because sites are very in existing residential areas are very difficult to find, and you want these sites to be near services.
Oh, I don't envy your job in the slightest, Andrew. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. Councillor Andrew Williams, leader of Decorum Council, 08459 455 555.
We've had a few texts through.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier on about this, the newspaper, The Sun, shaming Ed Miliband for not wearing
page
his
of The Sun.
Help for Heroes bracelet.
Yes.
Lisa says, I think people wear the bracelets to feel proud of their loved ones, especially if those in the army, but you should believe in the cause for the right reasons. We're asking whether it's right that the paper's doing this.
So it's a bit of a stretch there. Did that put you off?
What do you think? How do you feel about this idea that the Sun newspaper is showing the other three, so Farage and Cameron and Clegg,
well done,
are all showing their armbands with pride, and then they've kind of empty-chaired Miliband. There's a blank page. A part of the page, sorry.
I don't like these wristbands. When did they start? Was Lance Armstrong was possibly one of the first. Lance
Armstrongs,
the cheat we were. Remember when we were supporting a cheat by wearing plastic armbands? I don't like the I saw a fella the other day, about 6 of them on, and they were filthy. And you just think, all right, okay, well you're a really charitable guy, well done. But
that is kind of, aside from wearing your poppy, there is a pressure to wear poppy.
There is a poppy bullying, yes.
But that's the first time I remember charity being a fashion thing.
Yeah. There was, there was the AIDS ribbon,
yes.
But that was I always interpreted that more as a support. This is what I think if I remember correctly, it was when AIDS was still frowned upon and was seen as a dirty disease and things like that. That's kind of what I remember. But yeah, it's the armbands really,
and that's when charity started to get a bit more outward facing and about keeping up with everyone else. And I don't know. This front page makes me feel very, very uncomfortable.
I think the Sun have really misjudged this, and I know why they're doing it. It's because Ed Miliband is down on the floor after forgetting a huge chunk of speech, and so they are putting the boot in, because I'm sure they want to get rid of him before the next general election. It's a possibility. I just think this is the wrong way of doing it. Your thoughts, please. 08459 455 555.
Who the hell's Jason Orange?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the A1M, that's looking heavy on the sensors between Junction 8 for Stevenage and Junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City. In Park Street, the A414, it's looking rather slow on the sensors just around the Park Street roundabout at the moment. The M25, very slow anti-clockwise between Junction 21A for St Albans and Junction 19 at Watford. So far, taking a look at the M40 London bound, very heavy moving at the moment between Junction 1A for the M25 and Junction 1 for the Denham roundabout. Also in Borehamwood, heavy moving on the Barnet bypass between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
I don't know. I just say the stuff. The stuff that comes out of my mouth is gold and pure genius. I can't then go back and recreate it, guys, all right? Dearie me. Here we go.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: major development plans in Hertfordshire. David Cameron says UK must join airstrikes against Islamic State. And Luton workforce votes for pay cut.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. Dacorum Borough Council says it has to develop the Greenbelt land to meet the housing need, citing exceptional circumstances. Kevin Fitzgerald is from the Campaign to Protect Rural England.
It's not defined, but, most of us know what exceptional means, and just because developers want to build somewhere, it's not really exceptional these days. And I don't think this council is showing anywhere in their documentation or their consultation what anybody would regard as exceptional circumstances.
David Cameron has told the United Nations that it's right for Britain to join international airstrikes against Islamic State extremists in Iraq. He's recalling Parliament tomorrow to secure approval for airstrikes. Referring to the invasion of Iraq in 2003, Mr Cameron said it was important to learn the right lessons from the past.
We must not be so frozen with fear that we don't do anything at all. Isolation and withdrawing from a problem like ISIL will only make matters worse. We must not allow past mistakes to become an excuse for indifference or inaction.
Staff at Luton-based Monarch Airlines have voted for a pay cut as part of plans to restructure the company. More than 90% voted in favour of pay cuts of up to 30%. Strike action had been threatened over plans to cut 1,000 jobs. News of the vote comes the day after confirmation of likely new owners next month. The A414 North Orbital Road has reopened in Hertfordshire this morning, more than 24 hours after an accident closed the westbound carriageway. The road was closed in the early hours of yesterday morning after a lorry jackknife near the London Colney roundabout. The resulting diesel spill meant the road had to be resurfaced, causing lengthy delays for drivers. An agency claims a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's MK exhibition. Milton Keynes Modelling Angels says it's been told it can't include the model, Michelle, in the show. The exhibition organisers say a fashion show was never agreed, only talked about, but Angie Soa from the modelling agency says it's because of the transgender model.
The organizer specifically said that the business community in Milton Keynes is too conservative and that they're not ready to see a transgender on stage.
The band Take That are to continue as a trio following the decision by Jason Orange to leave. He informed the remaining members of the band, Gary Barlow, Mark Owen and Howard Donald, at a meeting last week. In sport, Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the 4th round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a 4th successive home game in this season's competition. The weather, a sunny start, but with cloud increasing, but staying dry in most places. A maximum temperature 19 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of Beds, Herts and Bucks.
I lived here and went to school here and then moved to London and then I loved it so much I came back.
All this week, we're exploring St Albans.
The oldie worldy appeal, the peace round by the park.
Exploring where you live.
I think it's a very friendly area.
Don't have to go too far and you're out in the country and you can walk for miles.
The big tour of Beds, Herts and Bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
St Albans. Who else? Jason Orange.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. That's Catherine Boyle.
This one.
That lady there. Lots on the show this morning, including transgender trouble, green belt balls. That came from nowhere. Also, we're talking... There's a whole raft of issues we're discussing this morning. Should you ever be shamed into supporting a charity? That's what The Sun's trying to do to Ed Miliband today, and I think it's kind of unfair. He's not wearing a Help for Heroes wristband, and so they're making a big issue out of it.
They've put 3 photographs on and 1 empty photograph.
It seems a little bit unfair. And also, sad news, take that down to 3. Jason Orange has left. Catherine, how are you bearing up?
Just catches me now and again. Yeah. I'll be all right.
We're going to be all right. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition. Milton Keynes Modelling Angel says it's been told it can't include the model Michelle in the show after an audition was filmed by the event's organisers. The company's managing director, Angie Sowar, said she was told it wasn't the right venue and that it's not discrimination, but they were just being practical. Well, the controversial model in question, Michelle from Aylesbury, is in the studio. Morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
So when did you hear that you couldn't take... So you were all set to be part of this fashion show?
Yes.
When did you hear that you couldn't be part of the fashion show?
It's all happened really quite quickly in the last couple of days. It's been quite short notice because the whole thing, the fashion show, I've only recently got involved in it, really. And I love doing that kind of stuff. But yes, Angie phoned me just a couple of days ago and said that it couldn't go ahead.
And as far as you're concerned, because we're hearing different things from Angie and different things from Peter Barnett, who's the MK exhibition organiser. He sent us a statement I'll read in a minute. As far as you're concerned, how definite was this fashion show?
Well, I thought it was a definite thing. You know, I was given a date of the 17th, and I understand it was a business kind of conference, and as part of that, they'd got certain stage things going on, and part of that was a fashion show, and the fashion show was to promote MK Angels and also to promote designers. I understand we were going to wear clothes that were designed and made by young designers. So,
how long have you been modelling?
It's something that I really only play with, but I love doing fashion shows, love dressing up, and it's not something that I do 24/7.
It's not your main job, but it's kind of a little sideline.
Yeah.
Have you ever met a hostile or surprised reaction before?
No, I was very taken aback. The very first fashion show I done was a charity show, and it was held at Pink Punters, and we had a magnificent turnout. We raised about £6,500 for a charity for the Redway School, and I was very well received because it was the first one I'd done. I was a little bit nervous, and to the point I'd done 6 collections, and people were putting money in a box, and I collected the most money, so quite proud.
So you're doing something right there.
Yeah.
You can understand, Pink Punters, of course, is a gay club, where perhaps it's the attitude there is a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah.
So you could understand perhaps them being slightly more receptive. How does it make you feel, if what we're hearing is correct, how does it make you feel that this fashion show has been pulled because of you? Because you're transgender?
Well, in actual fact, I feel a bit bad, really, for the other models. You know, I was asked would I take part, and I said yes, I would. And I feel bad that it's been cancelled because, you know, maybe the other models might have been able to go ahead. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I love dressing up. And because I'm very tall, I do stand out.
You are quite tall, yes. Yeah. That cannot be denied.
Yeah, so... so I do look kind of bold and glamorous when I'm dressed up. So
must be disappointing.
Yes, it is disappointing. Yes, I would have loved to have done it. I love doing anything like that, fashion shows. I've entered some beauty pageants as well, but usually they are within the transgender community.
Was it ever an option? Did you ever say to Angie or the organisers, do you know what, why don't I just pull out?
To be honest, this has happened very quickly.
Right.
So I think, as I understand it, that, we've just been told we can't go ahead with the fashion show. And I'm not sure if it was an option that they could go ahead without me, then I'd be happy for the other models, really. I'd love to take part if I was allowed to, but...
I would imagine... and I've not met too many transgender people that I'm aware of. I don't know sometimes, but I would imagine that there is still kind of a level of discrimination.
Yes,
if not outright hatred. Is that too strong a word? Sometimes
I think that's probably a strong word. Yeah. Generally speaking, one of the things we do at Pink Panthers, I'm mentioning Pink Panthers again. I'm on their transgender awareness group, and we have lots of people come into the club, lots of straight people, and it's a really good thing because it mixes communities. And strangely enough, when the World Cup was on, I'd gone to a ladies' ascot day and I was all dressed up, all glammed up, and we ended up going in to a very male pub to watch England.
Yeah. Oh God! Why would you put yourself? I can't think of anything worse than that environment. Blimey!
But no one took any notice at all. It was just like I was a normal, girl in a normal environment.
Have you seen attitudes? I was speaking to someone earlier on. It feels to me that attitudes towards transgender have kind of come on leaps and bounds in the last sort of 4 or 5 years.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's being normalised now.
Yes, yeah, I think so, and I think there's a lot of closet people out there that dress and it's becoming more acceptable. And obviously it's a very diverse thing because some people are transsexual, some people are transvestites, and there's a whole spectrum, and there's a lot of guys that completely do the whole change and become women. So within that spectrum, there's a very wide range. But yes, it is becoming more acceptable, and it becomes more acceptable by, being able to get involved in things like doing fashion shows that are open to the general public, because then it makes other people aware.
Unfortunately, the organiser of the MK exhibition, Peter Barnett, is too busy to come on the show. He's he sent us a few bits and pieces, and it's a shame, Peter, if you're listening. I'm aware this is sounding very one-sided. I would love to get your side of this. 08459 455 555. Anyway, he was invited on. He says he's working flat out at the moment with the exhibition. He says the fashion show was something that was talked about but was never agreed to be part of the exhibition, which again goes against what Angie your agent was saying earlier. He says they never advertised they were going to have models there. He also said he tried to help the modelling agency and they were trying to make the issue into a bigger thing than it is. He's disappointed that people are trying to use something that doesn't exist against them when he's supporting lots of charities. Your response to that, Michelle?
Well, obviously, I have to take his opinion, really. Obviously, he knows what the exhibition is about. I really didn't. This has all been quite new to me, and I wasn't sure how the fashion show would fit into like a business type conference. So if I'm completely honest, obviously Peter knows what his plans were and what he wants to do with his conference.
It would be good if he came on and talked to us. Michelle, listen, I appreciate your time. Take that fan at all? Disappointed by Jason Orange leaving, or not bothered in the slightest?
I'm more of a rock chick, really.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So,
Green Day and...
Well, never mind. I'm sure you'll get over it. Michelle, nice to meet you. Thank you very much. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm concerned for the Take That fans that they're not ringing in their droves. I was expecting repeats of. Hang on, when would it be? When was it? When Robbie left, or when Robbie left would have been? Hang on.
Oh no.
What?
Well, if there was that, and then I just remember Gary Balla saying, I'm afraid the rumours are true.
I'm afraid the rumours are true. That was when this morning, so that would have been, I would have been about 22, so that would have been about 1995, 96, something like that. And I was... I
was 18.
You were never 18, let's be honest. And this morning was awash with tears. Denise was talking kids, out of they had ropes around their neck, literally, metaphorically.
Actually, some of them were very, very, very upset.
They really, really were. It sounds like a joke now. They really, really were. Which is why I'm so worried about the lack of calls this morning, because I'm worried what these kids are doing to themselves.
I mean, they're not kids now.
They're old women. Old women and old gay men. I wonder what they're their prime. I'm seriously, I'm worried about them.
Yeah. So if you want to talk, no judgment.
Huge fan of them.
08459 455 555.
Well, take it seriously. I can do serious stuff.
Yeah.
I did a serious thing about February.
Yeah. You were very good at that, actually. You did serious voice and everything.
Did a serious voice and everything.
So, some of them are maybe just waking up now.
Yeah.
Although the kids will have had them up. You know that for the last 2 hours, but they'll be busy. They might just be having a little breather before the school run.
Let's hope they're sobering up.
Jason Orange is leaving. Take that. I know. If you want to talk about it, we're here. And we'll be here till 9 o'clock just for you. Give us a call on 08459 455 555. Actually, could I have some sad music? If you're joining us now, you're waking up to the very sad news that Jason Orange is no longer a member of Take That. He's decided to move on with his life and his career, and maybe music just doesn't fit anymore. If you've been affected by that, please call us now on 08459 455 555.
Who the hell's...
The Jason Orange ghost is ruining the computers here. Hang on a second. Stop.
Press.
Play.
Who the hell's Jason Orange?
Still works.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Long delays at the moment on the M1 London bound. There's a broken down vehicle just after junction 9 for Redbourne. It is looking rather busy now to junction 10, Luton Airport Spur Road. The A414 is looking rather slow moving around the Park Street roundabout, and very heavy on the M25 at the moment, heading clockwise just around junction 25 for Enfield, heading through the roadworks area there. Also anti-clockwise, rather slow moving between junction 21A for St Albans and junction 16 for the M40. The M40 itself is looking very heavy on the sensors, London bound between junction 1A for the M25 and junction 1 for the Denham roundabout. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 8:16. It's Thursday, the 25th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. And an agency claims a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition because the business community is too conservative and not ready to see a transgender on stage.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
BBC Introducing.
BBC Introducing.
BBC Introducing across beds, hearts and bucks.
Today, it's BBC Introducing Day here on BBC Three Counties Radio. And to mark the occasion, we'll bring you the best local unsigned music throughout the day.
What you waiting for? No, what you waiting?
Like George Ezra, Indy and the Vegas, Natasha North, Jack Garrett, James Bay and Annie Eve. And from 3, Roberto will be live from the Horn in St Albans to celebrate 40 years of this amazing live music venue.
Before we lose our minds, have I been holding on too strong?
BBC Introducing Day, all day today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I very rarely, Catherine, doing this job, very rarely, I don't get shocked anymore. Very rarely. Every now and then we'll get a call from someone, it's a story that's so heartfelt, so touching, so personal and unique, kind of takes your breath away.
Yeah.
Just catches you right there. Jonathan Verner-Smith has... I don't know what you're laughing for. I don't know what kind of deviant hellhole you're living in. He has just told me something that has shocked me, disgusted me, moved. It's horrible. Would you like to tell Catherine and the listener?
Well, my puppy's been a bit of a devil twice this morning.
Oh dear.
First of all, I was standing out there in the cold and the dark,
Yeah.
you know, waiting for her to have a good old run around in the garden, I realised I was there alone. She'd gone back in the house to bed. I mean, quite how long I was standing out there in the garden.
That's not the shocking bit. And by the way, if you've got a 7-year-old in the car, they're going to love this.
So anyway, I left her in her bed. I went and had my shower, came downstairs, and the cat had used his litter tray. So, of course, I went to clean his litter tray. So I'm in there, and before I could do anything, she leapt in his litter tray and she ate his whoopsie.
So then what did you do?
I tried to get it out.
Of her mouth?
Yeah,
He's fighting. He's fighting a dog for a stool.
There's bits of it falling out all over the floor. It was disgusting. But the thing is, you know, I was trying to tell her off.
Yeah.
Trying to tell her off. It's like Mr. Bean in my house at the moment. I'm trying to tell her off. She wasn't getting it. She thought it was hilarious. Her little tail's wagging.
But the one thing that worries me is dogs copy their owner's behaviour, don't they? So
You could save money on food if you just let
No. I don't think I'll be letting her do that.
You're going to have it put down?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
But unfortunately, it is quite a common problem with... one of my friends has a black Labrador, and her dog ate about 10 kilos of horse manure.
Okay, this really is. This might be the kind of stuff that sits well on your show, Jonathan. But I'll be honest, we've got standards here.
Now I've moved to the country, these kinds of things happen.
Absolutely disgusting.
Didn't get this in the city.
Just tell us what's on your show quickly and get out, please.
Coming up on this morning's Big Phone In at 9, do you think we should bomb the hell out of ISIL? David Cameron says the UK is now ready to play its part in fighting ISIL, and he's recalled Parliament, who tomorrow will vote on what action to take. He's described the group as an evil against which the whole world must unite, and it would seem likely now that the UK will join the US and France in bombing the militants. The former Attorney General and Beaconsfield MP Dominic Grieve says there's a sound legal basis for bombing ISIL. The question is, will you back the government if the RAF are sent to war? From 9 this morning, I want your views. Do you think we should bomb the hell out of ISIL? 08459 455 555.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I mean...
Dogs really will eat anything, won't they?
It really is. If he think, you know, that may sit well with his listeners, but I know we have a far more discerning bunch than that. So, to quote the late and much maligned Amy Whitehouse, no.
Some hopeful texts we've had through.
Here we go.
This one's anonymous, but I can understand that. It's with regard to the Jason Orange phone-in that we're trying to do, but obviously people are too caught up to talk about it. This anonymous texter says, does this mean we'll finally get Killer Net 2 made? Now, we have had some discussion about Killer Net 1.
We discussed Killer Net 1 in great detail earlier on.
Yes.
Someone paid just under 17 quid for it. They kept the receipt all 8 years.
Good grief. What was her name? Rebecca Woof?
Rachel
Woof?
There was a woof in it. Do you remember the programme Woof?
Yes.
That boy that could turn into a dog.
Yeah.
It's good, though, isn't it?
Not as good as Brum. About the car.
Oh, Brum was rubbish.
Anyway, we're not talking about kids' programmes. What are you trying to do?
Sorry, mate.
We're talking about...
I used to love refreshers, the sweeties. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Jason Orange was lucky to get him to take that anyway, says Daz the Trucker. In the auditions, he only just pipped the other person to the post.
Oh, guys, you really are squeezing these jokes out, aren't you?
Whose breathing is that?
Mine.
It's not mine.
Well, it sounds like yours, Matt.
Yeah.
Sid James.
Sid James.
Now, that's a laugh. People aren't famous for their laughs anymore. I can't think of one famous laugh at the moment.
Yeah, well, you don't make me laugh this morning.
Oh.
You're sad.
What?
This Jason, what's his name, Lemon or Orange? Jason Orange. Your show is getting worse on a Thursday than a Friday now. I'm definitely going back to Chris Evans. Yeah.
You won't leave us, Matt. You can't leave us.
Who's that, Richard Clayderman?
No, it's Ian Lee.
No, it sounds like James Last and Richard Clayderman.
No, mate, it's Ian Lee. It's the Ian Lee show. We've spoken before, Matt. You're losing your marbles.
Bloody Orange.
What's your beef with Orange? Well, did you audition and didn't get in? Is that what your problem is?
What?
You auditioned for Take That and Jason Orange beefs between you and Orange, and they went for Orange. Is that what your beef is, Matt? Is that why you're so down on the Orange?
No, it's Take That.
What's wrong with Take That?
The only good thing about Take That is what's his name? Ken
Barlow. He was going to say Ken Barlow.
Ken Barlow.
What are you talking about? The only good thing about Take That, don't you? Don't you remember the Do What You Like video?
Do what you what?
They did what they like.
Yeah, a bit like Ian.
Back to you, Ian.
We're playing tennis with Matt's words, and boy, oh boy, it really is a disappointing game. Well, Matt, listen, so you've just phoned up to say you're upset with Jason Orange leaving and it's broken your heart. Well, that's what can we do to comfort you?
Play me Kenny Rogers and Johnny Cash.
Oh, for goodness sake, we're talking real music today, Matt.
Come on,
we are
mate.
talking real music today.
Come on. Take that.
And party. Come on. Take that. Go on, what's your favourite Take That song, Matt?
I don't know.
Go on.
None of them.
Oh, mate. Listen, I'm not going to allow this negative attitude on anymore, and I'm speaking specifically about Matt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mine's all right, though.
Well, contractually.
They're all right, I suppose, yeah.
Oh, he's softening. Right. I can hear the ice thawing.
Yeah, the ice is breaking.
I know which one he likes.
Yeah, go on.
It only takes a minute, girl.
Only takes a minute, girl. Fall in love. Fall in love.
You sound like two what's-her-names from the car park.
Two what's-her-names from bloody the car park? I've got literally...
Two drunken
Yeah,
bums,
you know what that sounds like, Matt, wouldn't you, if you could remember it?
What?
Nothing?
Take what?
Thanks very much indeed. Glenn's in Leighton Buzzard. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning. How are you?
He's back from Cyprus.
Absolutely. Great holiday.
Couldn't care less.
Hey, found a nice chippy out there, though.
Oh, yeah?
Authentic.
Yeah. Mr. Cardy's name is.
Oh, yeah?
In Protaras.
Yeah.
Home from home.
Yeah.
Went there 4 times.
You can't go to a chippy 4 times in Cyprus. What about your souvlaki? What about your kebab?
Mezzies.
Your mezzies. What about your mezzies?
No, didn't have any of that.
Didn't have any of that foreign mug?
Do you take your own tea bags?
No, I didn't know, but they had some nice tea out there.
Oh, they do a good brew, do they?
Nice tea. He means PG tips, innit? What do you want, Glenn? Have you just phoned in to show off about your holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, well, buy them. I'm surprised that no one... maybe we've misjudged this. No one is as angry as we are about Ed Miliband being shamed by The Sun for not supporting... not wearing a Help for Heroes wristband. I think the thing is... I think from what I'm reading here in The Sun... is that Ed Miliband's problem is not with the Help for Heroes, it's with The Sun.
Mm-hmm. It's with The Sun calling the shots.
Because he was laughed at when he did a picture of him holding the Sun a couple of months ago.
Do you know what? Actually, I have more respect for him for not joining in. Look at the other 3. Look at the other 3.
Cameron's doing that.
I know, they're all showing off the wristbands as if to say, look at me, I'm doing this. But you're doing it because The Sun's asked you to, or actually told you to. Really?
There's something in that. Have you got more respect for people who are able to say no to charities than those that bang on about them all the time?
08459 455 555. We have had some texts. I mean, a lot of them are sweary and quite rude about The Sun. But I'll try to. The only thing in The Sun newspaper is useful for, says John of Milton Keynes, is toilet paper.
Oh, well, really? OK.
And Daz the Trucker says the only reason the Help for Hero stuff is on the front page is because the Tory scum Rag doesn't want to give headlines to the 91-year-old war hero who was talking about the NHS yesterday.
That was on the front page of the other paper. I can't remember which one it was. 08459 455 555. Two things here. Do you agree that the public shaming of Ed Miliband by The Sun is actually pretty nasty and unpleasant and unnecessary? And do you have a sneaking respect for those people who are able to say no to charities? It's a tough one, but I am getting better. I'm certainly can say no to chuggers without any problem at all. And if people are wanting donations and they're quite persistent about their donations, I'm quite good at saying, do you know what, I wish you the best of luck with it, but I've got my own charities that I'm supporting, and so I'm going to say no.
It used to be that charity was a personal choice and people didn't go on about it. Nowadays, you have to have a flipping big shiny badge to show who you're supporting.
The thing I hate, and there is a person who does it here. Oh, well, that's put me in an awkward position, but I'll carry on now. I've started the train of thought. I have to get it out. That sent emails to everybody. Hey guys, raising money for such and such. Come on. I'll name and shame those who don't. Well, that's not very pleasant. When I get those, I'm more inclined. Well, I just don't reply. It's not really the spirit of things. It's not the spirit of things, is it? 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We're seeing long delays at the moment on the A1M heading southbound between Junction 8 for Stevenage and Junction 6 for Welwyn Garden City. Also the M1 London bound, long delays there as well, just after Junction 9 for Redbourne, and also looking busy to Junction 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road. There's a broken down vehicle there causing delays. Clockwise on the M25, looking very heavy on the sensors just around Junction 25 for Enfield, and anti-clockwise on the M25, rather slow moving between Junction 21A for St Albans and Junction 16 for the M40. The M40 itself, London bound, very heavy moving at the moment between Junction 1A for the M25 and Junction 1 for the Denham roundabout. So far, not seeing any problems on the trains. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. Top executives from Hertfordshire-based Tesco could be hauled in front of a parliamentary committee after admitting it had overstated its guidance for half-year profits by £250 million. And an agency claims a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition because the business community is too conservative and not ready to see a transgender on stage.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Milton Keynes Dons have been drawn at home to fellow League One side Sheffield United in the 4th round of the League Cup. Last night's draw gave the Dons a 4th successive home game in this season's competition. They will host the Blades at Stadium MK on October the 28th or 29th. In last night's 3rd round matches, Frank Lampard scored twice as Manchester City thrashed Sheffield Wednesday 7-0. Here's City manager Manuel Pellegrini.
The thing that we are not talking at this moment, we'll see in the future. I think the most important thing that he's happy now playing here with us, that he's a very important player for us, and also that the team played today very well.
Elsewhere, Chelsea beat Bolton 2-1, Tottenham beat Nottingham Forest 3-1, and Newcastle were 3-2 extra-time winners at Crystal Palace. Elsewhere in the 4th round draw, Chelsea will travel to League Two Shrewsbury, Manchester City will host Newcastle, Liverpool are at home to Swansea. In golf, the opening ceremony for the Ryder Cup at Glen Eagles takes place today. Both captains will also announce tomorrow's first-day pairings. World number 1 Rory McIlroy is leading Europe's challenge.
I guess in a way I didn't know what to expect. I knew that it was a big deal, but I didn't know how much of a big deal it was to everyone. And I haven't played my best in either Ryder Cup that I've played in. I feel coming in here, I've got a different role to play. I'm the number 1 player in the world, and coming off the back of a couple of majors this year, I'm expected to be a leader. I'm expected to go out and lead by example and set the tone for the team.
And in rugby, Wycombe-based Wasps are being linked with a move to Coventry's Ricoh Arena. Wasps have been playing at Adams Park since 2002. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
MeetFreeMondays.com. Pledge.meetfreemondays.com. You can do it right now, please.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Live music coming up soon from the Shires, who we like. It's BBC Introducing Day, so happy BBC Introducing Day, everybody. But before that, we've been talking about Jason Orange leaving Take That, and you're all obviously very distraught about that. We have also been talking about the front page of The Sun, which I really think has misjudged the mood ever so slightly. It's a picture of David Cameron wearing a Help for Heroes wristband, Nick Clegg, Farage, about all wearing their Help for Heroes wristbands and making a big point of showing them off in cleverly posed photographs. Miliband's little picture is blank because he has refused, according to The Sun. Well, again, they're making lots of assumptions, right? Ed Miliband has refused to support a charity campaign for wounded troops for fear of offending Labour lefties. Now, we don't know that he's not supporting it. What we do know is he's not posed for a photograph for The Sun wearing a wristband. That's what we know. We don't know he's not supporting it. We don't know if he's wearing a wristband. We don't know if he's made a donation. All we know is he has not posed for a photograph for The Sun. And he seems to be being named and shamed for it. Seems a little unfair. We'll speak to Justin in a second, who has taken it to the streets. Before that, though, Simon's in Croxley Green. Morning, Simon.
Hello.
Simon, what would you like to say about this?
Well, I don't think Ed Miliband should be given a hard time for not wearing a Help for Heroes wristband because I don't think he's required as a politician to identify himself with a particular charity, and that this particular charity, Help for Heroes, does have a political agenda to some extent in describing people who go to war as heroes. I've just been involved in making a film called Watford's Quiet Heroes, which is about conscientious objectors in the First World War. And I think that that's a particular kind of people who go to war and fight have a particular kind of heroism, but there are other kinds of heroism associated with war, and it's not necessarily heroic to be prepared to go and fight and kill people.
So, if Ed Miliband, we don't know what the situation is, if he hasn't given to Help for Heroes and if he's not worn the armband, do you have more respect for him for doing that, or for not doing that?
Yeah, I have respect for him for being prepared to stand up to, if that is what he's doing, stand up to the Sun's agenda, which is obviously about, support for a war, for people who fight and go to war.
Well, he is. We talk about going to war. The government, Parliament has been recalled for Friday, and where it will be discussed about bombing ISIL, and Miliband has publicly given his support for that thing. So he's not anti-war. He's not taking a pacifist stance.
Oh no, I appreciate that. Yeah, he's not a pacifist at all. But I'm just saying that I don't think that the Sun's. I don't agree with the Sun's agenda in trying to sort of shame him for not signing up in the same way that other political leaders have.
And can I just ask, you're arguing that conscientious objectors who would have been shot back in the day are actually quite heroic in making the brave decision to stand up against everyone else. Are you suggesting that those who do go to war are not heroes?
I think going to war, going to fight, putting your life on the line, obviously requires a great deal of courage. But in my view, it's very often, if not always, mistaken, because wars only create more wars, and the people who are prepared to stand up against it and say they refuse to fight, ultimately they're the people who are going to make the world a more peaceful place.
Well, the Second World War brought us a united Europe. That had to happen, didn't it?
I don't know whether the Second World War had to happen. I think you wouldn't start from 1939. You'd have to look at the causes of the Second World War.
Here we go. I heard this on another radio show. I'm going to steal this line, OK? I think it would be pretty hard to argue, maybe you could, Simon, but it would be pretty hard to argue that World War II was not a just war. Okay, there could be arguments for it, but it seems to me World War II was a just war. Someone said on another radio station yesterday that ISIL are the 21st century equivalent of the Nazis, and they are doing the same thing. That they are moving forward, trying to take over land and put their fascist views on other people. If that's the case, then bombing ISIS and going to war with ISIL would be a just war, wouldn't it?
I don't know that there ever is such a thing as a just war. I mean, that's another debate in a way. I don't think you can destroy an idea, no matter how hateful the idea is, by bombing it, by violence, by killing people.
But we ended the concentration camps by going in World War II. That was justified, surely. I know that was a kind of byproduct, wasn't it? But
I'm not arguing that, and I'm not saying that there wouldn't be circumstances. I can't put my hand on my heart and say there are no circumstances in which I would fight or use violence to defend myself or defend the people that I love. But I think the more people there are in the world who are prepared to say that they will never use violence in any circumstances, the better the chance we have of making the world a more peaceful place.
Simon, you mentioned your film. Is it done?
It is. It's going to be premiered at the Pump House in Watford on the 4th of October.
And what's it called?
It's called Watford's Quiet Heroes Resisting the Great War.
Simon, thank you very much indeed. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Really interesting.
Really, thank you for that, Simon. What a great call. Every now and then you get one that shines like a gem, and that was fascinating. Yeah, I nicked it from another radio station, but someone phoned up and said ISIL are our equivalent of the Nazis, and it kind of struck me that maybe that is the case.
Because it's all about domination.
Yeah.
There's no reasoning with them because they're absolutely convinced that their way is the only way.
Although I tell you what's interesting about because a month ago we were against the majority. The polls were showing that the majority of the British public were against action against ISIL. I think the polls are showing now that swung the other way. And what's interesting is, a month ago, they were shooting thousands of women and children and pushing them into mass graves and doing all kinds of horrible things. Thousands. What's happened in that month is 1 or 2 English people have been beheaded. That's it. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah, we knew about the mass rapes, we knew about the murders, we knew about the children being buried alive before.
So is the death, is it 1 or is it 2 English people? I can't remember. I know that Alan Henning, Mr. Henning is still there, and there's been a couple of... Let's say it's 1 English and 2 American. Apologies if it's not the case. Is that a good enough argument for war that an English person and 2 Americans have been murdered? Is that a good enough argument to go to war? Is that a stronger argument than thousands of women and children being murdered and raped? I don't know. 08459 455 555. We're going off on a slight tangent, but that's what we do from time to time. The reason we're talking about this, Justin, is the front page of The Sun. Ed Miliband is being shamed for, well, it says here, for refusing to support a charity campaign for wounded troops. We don't know he's refusing to support it. All we know is he's not had a picture taken with the armband on for The Sun. That's all we know.
According to The Sun, he's turned down a photograph opportunity 4 times. I'm sure that he probably does support the charity, but does he have to be on the front page of a newspaper with a wristband on? Well, no, he doesn't. And to be quite honest with you, Ian, I can't believe this is on the front page of a national newspaper.
I can, because this isn't the story. The story is Ed Miliband is down on the floor. The Sun want the Conservatives to have a majority victory, so Ed Miliband, who's posing, still even despite his muff-ups, posing a bit of a threat, let's give him a kicking now. Right? That's what the story really is.
Yeah, a bit cheap and nasty. Well, Ian, I've taken The Sun to the streets this morning, showing people the front page, getting their reaction. Here's what happened. Sir, you're seeing the front page of The Sun there. Is that right, what this newspaper is doing, naming and shaming him because he won't wear the bracelet?
Absolutely not. The Sun hates Miliband and take any opportunity to actually ensure that they paint him in a bad light. So I don't agree with what they're doing.
Is it bullying?
Absolutely. They've got it in for him. Ever since he stood up to Murdoch a few years ago, press is owned by Murdoch and they're going for him. Big time. Miliband's committed to supporting troops, but wearing a bracelet isn't necessarily the best way.
Thanks for your time, really appreciate it.
You're right.
Maureen, tell us your thoughts on this. Big talking point for our show this morning.
I would say, are you going to take an awful lot of notice of The Sun? And that's all I can say, really. It's not a very good quality newspaper.
Yeah, I think The Sun they're just clutching at straws. He's not the flavour of the month at the moment, so I think they're just trying to name and shame him. What they're doing is wrong, yeah.
Well, Paul, there's the front page of The Sun. Cameron Clegg, Farage, and a blank photo of Miliband.
He does look better blank.
You said that, not me. I mean, do you think that's fair, though, naming and shaming him because he won't have his photograph taken with a charity bracelet?
No, I don't. No, not at all. It's everybody's right to do what they want. It's supposed to be a free world.
A bit harsh, then.
Just a bit harsh.
Surprising. It's very rarely you get a Vox where everyone's supporting Ed Miliband.
Absolutely. I think, people seeing this morning just think it's wrong. It's totally wrong what they're doing, naming and shaming. If he wants to have that photograph taken, that's his decision. That certainly shouldn't be on the front page of a national newspaper.
There are other charities where the charity themselves can be a little bit forceful in encouraging you to support them. Poppies is one. I did the Alan Titchmarsh show the other day, and we recorded a piece for November, and I was told I had to wear a poppy. I was told I had to wear a poppy.
Not your choice, then. It's somebody telling you to wear it. And, of course, if somebody working for the BBC is on television not wearing a poppy, all the newspapers will be absolutely outraged about that. But, again, that's that individual's decision, not the organisation. It's up to that person, surely.
Do you know we're not allowed to wear charity things generally? People have different charities they support, but if you have something on, they'll tell you to take it off. I mean, that's what I've heard. That
wouldn't be allowed to wear a white poppy on the BBC.
No, you certainly wouldn't.
That wouldn't happen.
No.
Little pink ribbon for breast cancer care. I think that there are times when you are allowed to wear them if there's a particular item you're doing, but I think generally you're not supposed to have any sort of outward show of allegiance like that.
Maybe next week let's do a little thing on wristbands, because I do really hate these wristbands. I do hate them. I think people wear them to show off. I think the majority of... I'm sure there are some people who wear them to because, maybe they lost their dad to a certain disease or something like that, and it kind of makes them feel close to someone they've lost, or because they genuinely want to promote, they want to start conversations and just trigger off thoughts in people's mind about a specific charity. But I think the majority of people it's just middle-class people showing off to feel good about themselves.
I don't know, you see, I think they're a great idea, because I think, any sort of money you're raising for a charity is a great thing. But again, it goes back to the individual. If you want to wear that charity bracelet, that is your decision. Nobody should be forcing you to wear that, and certainly not forcing you to wear it and have your photograph taken with it.
Let's maybe do something on the charity bracelets tomorrow. Let's take it a little bit further, because I do like this. I'm kind of against them on the most part, but I don't have a particularly strong argument about it. It's just a feeling.
You see some people with armfuls of them, and then you think, what's that for?
Justin, we'll talk about it after the show. Excellent stuff as always. Thank you very much. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1 heading northbound, looking very heavy on the sensors at the moment between junction 13 for Bedford and junction 14 for Milton Keynes. And the M1 London bound, severe delays as well just after junction 9 for Redbourne. There's a broken down vehicle there causing lots of delays on camera. The A1M looking heavy on the sensors heading southbound between junction 8 for Stevenage and junction 6 for Welland. And the M25 heading anti-clockwise, very slow on sensors between junction 19 at Watford and junction 16 for the M40. Taking a look so far at the trains, everything's running well. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks, Nicola. 8:46. It's Thursday, the 25th of September. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Hundreds of new homes with traveller sites attached are set to be built on Greenbelt land in Hertfordshire. The controversial plans involve 6 sites in Tring, Hemel Hempstead, Berkhamsted and Bovingdon. David Cameron has told the United Nations that Britain is ready to play its part in confronting Islamic State extremists. And an agency claims a transgender model has been barred from a fashion show at next month's Milton Keynes exhibition because organisers think the business community is too conservative and not ready to see a transgender person on stage. Let's get the weather. Here's Georgina.
Beds, Herts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello there. Well, it's a chilly but bright start to the day. However, we have cloud increasing, and by this afternoon there's not much sunshine left, but it should stay dry with light southwesterly winds and temperatures reaching 18 degrees Celsius. It's a cloudy but warmer night than it was last night, with lows of 14 degrees Celsius and a fair amount of cloud around tomorrow as well. By the afternoon, though, we are starting to see some breaks, so hopefully some sunny spells to finish off the day, with temperatures reaching 20 degrees Celsius. Now, it's fairly warm, staying largely dry over the next few days, including the weekend, when we'll have fairly foggy starts, but hopefully some sunny intervals by the afternoon. But an increasing risk of showers for Monday and Tuesday. Still quite warm, though, until the high pressure builds from the middle of the week. And that's your latest forecast.
On Saturday afternoon, we're back to a full day of traditional kick-offs.
Maria into the area, low drilled shot, into the back of the net.
All 5 of our teams kick off at 3, and we'll have live and uninterrupted commentary on Stevenage, MK Dons,
Ali on a hat-trick, right-footed, he gets his hat-trick!
Watford,
Hey, Cathcart! Equalises for Watford on the volley!
and Luton.
Right-footed, oh, he saved it! Comes back out to Cullen, and Cullen scores!
Plus, regular updates from Wickham.
It's Wood, it's a goal, it's Sam Woods!
Listen to your local team in Three Counties Sport. Saturday from 2, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I can see Catherine laughing in the next studio, and that really doesn't...
What's she laughing at?
I don't know. It doesn't sit... She's not listening to this. She's probably watching Good Morning, This is Britain or something.
Right.
Now, it's... Kelly, come to the microphone and tell us what it is today that we're doing.
It's BBC Introducing Day.
Hey, happy BBC Introducing Day. High five.
High five.
I didn't do the... We actually did a real...
Yeah, we did a real
high five. And what does that mean, though, Kelly?
It's just a day to celebrate
Oh.
all things introducing.
OK, now at my personal space.
Oh, sorry,
That's a little bit awkward. And we've got a band in... We've got the Shires in the studio. Good morning, Chrissy. Good morning, Ben.
Hello.
Thank
Morning.
you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Should we just get straight in with a song and then we'll have a chat?
Why not?
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Are you going to stand or are you going to sit? What's your thoughts? What do you think?
I might stand, you know. Why not?
You stand up and let's... you go on up. You go. She stood.
There we are.
There we go.
Not much
You're
difference.
staying sat because you've not got a guitar strap?
No, not with me.
Unbelievable.
I do own one, but not with me.
Yeah, as I say, we could all club together and get you some. Right, what are you going to sing for us first?
We're going to do Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Hey, guys, I'll shut up. Get straight in there, then away you go.
Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom, and who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it, but listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad, in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining, and players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You know.
Now here I go again, I see the crystal visions. I keep my visions to myself.
It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams and
have you any dreams you'd like to say?
what you had and what you lost, and what you had and what you lost. 'Cause thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. You know.
Hey, we'll have some of that. That's brilliant. You can sit down now. Have a breather.
Thank you.
We're going to do another one in a second because we've not got much time. I want to hear a second song. That's
Yes.
That's genuinely brilliant.
Thank you.
And it's such a pleasure to have, because you came in before and Kelly said, hey, we should get a band in. You were the first choice. So thank you so much. You were part of BBC Introducing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you uploaded your track to the website. Was that it? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, totally. We just this is ages ago now. It feels like it was a year and a half ago, year ago. Just uploaded our track, and yeah, you guys had us in.
But in that year, loads of stuff has happened, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of been a whirlwind, to be
what's
honest.
happened?
Well, we met in May last year,
Yeah.
and then we just so happened to do a tiny little cider festival, local here in Haynes Village, and in the audience was somebody that happened to know somebody else who happened to be our manager right now, and he managed to pass our stuff on to Radio 2, and they opened a couple of doors, and we signed our deal with Decca in February.
See, even I've heard of Decca. That's not some kid in his bedroom with a record. That's Decca Records, for goodness sakes. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
You've been to Nashville as well to record.
We did, yeah.
How cool was that?
2 weeks after signing our deal, we were out in Nashville writing and recorded the album out there, and it was crazy.
When is the album coming out?
We're hoping January.
Right.
So it's all recorded, all ready to go. It's all mastered. Haven't got any photos.
The sound is ready, but we have no images or...
So when it comes out, come in, unless you're too big for us, then...
Well...
You'll be doing Ken Bruce. You'll be doing Ken Bruce. We can take it in. We'll play the song from the album anyway. If people want to find out more, where do they go on the internet?
We're on Facebook and Twitter, The Shires UK.
I'm rushing on because we've only got a few minutes left. I want another song. So what have you got for us now?
This is our first single. Was our first single, called Nashville Grace, guys, and it was all about us, our going to Nashville and what it would be like and how we imagined it would be like.
Before we'd gone there, actually. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, up you get. Let's. Are you ready? He's just tuning. He's tuning.
Yeah.
This is their B-side. It's called Tuning. All right, away you go.
Well, they'll say it's way too cold for cut-off jeans, and they won't be drinking moonshine and teas, but they'll be country boys at home, dancing with sweet country girls all night. We can build our own Nashville underneath these gray skies. People will come, they'll come from far and wide. They'll leave their village greens and their big cities behind. We can build our own Nashville. It's about time. Won't get that southern sun. We'll be dancing in the rain. And every single night screens and the big cities behind. We can build our own Nashville. It's about time. Whoa, whoa, it's about time. It's about time. We can build our own Nashville underneath these grey skies. People will come from far and wide. They'll be dancing in the rain. People will come, they'll come from far and wide. They'll leave their village greens and their big cities behind. Build our own Nashville. It's about time.
The Shires, thank you very much indeed. Kelly, good work for BBC Introducing Day. We're going to skip the travel, I'm afraid. That's it, that's your lot. Thank you, that was brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thoroughly
Thanks for
enjoyed
having
that.
us.
No, it's a pleasure. That's it, that's your lot. Thank you to Kelly, thank you to Justin, thank you to Catherine Boyle. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. Until then, from us, ta-ta.